This is Turn Up Power 106.9, Omaha's #1 for hip hop and hits. We're talking Drake, Cardi B,
This sound like Cardi to the stage.
Kendrick,
They not like us.
and all the biggest names in the game. Plus, exclusive remixes, throwbacks, and the dopest DJs. Powered by NRG Media Omaha. We bring you the energy, the culture, and the sound of the city. Lock in to Power 106.9.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough. But if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Did you know that AmeriCorps programs improve lives, strengthen communities, and foster civic engagement in Nebraska? For example, AmeriCorps program serving with the RISE program helps students on probation for truancy gain skills to improve both their attendance and performance in school. Discover more about AmeriCorps programs making a difference in your community at serve.nebraska.gov. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I'm Omaha Athletic Director Adrian Dow, and I want to introduce you to 3 Omaha schools that are playing a vital role in keeping our community strong. We serve nearly 600 pre-K through 8th grade students, most of whom come from disadvantaged neighborhoods. These students receive a values-based education with the family support they need. I'm a proud member of the CUES Fund Board, which supports the CUES school system. To learn more, go to CUES Schools, that's CUES schools.org.
The word father means a lot to me. Being that support system for them, and as a man, it's important in a child's life. I think men can be a little stubborn sometimes where they may want the help, they may not know how to ask. It's hard for a man to speak his emotions. Those tears, they mean something. In a Arapaho way, tears are water and water is life. And when you shed those tears, that's love. That's real love. Sometimes as dads, I think we're too hard on ourselves. Life can come at you really quick, and it can be really tough at times. But then you put that one foot in front of the other, and you keep doing the right thing. Slowly that voice goes away, you know. Arapaho way, you got to pray for yourself, as well as for everybody else, but never forget yourself.
Never stop being a dad. That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey."
Omaha Maverick Hockey hits the road as they head to Kalamazoo to take on Western Michigan this weekend. You can listen to the games on News Talk 1290 Coil. It's UNO at Western Michigan on your home for Maverick Hockey. News Talk 1290 Coil.
$16.20 The Zone.
Live from 50th and Capitol Avenue in the Big O.
This is Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone. 1620thezone.com and 1620 The Zone TV. Now, here's Gary, Matt, and Jimmy.
And good morning, everybody. Oh, I just realized something. Can you guys see this on 1620 The Zone TV?
See what?
We see you.
See, there's a glow. It's the Fred Hoiberg glow. Isn't there a glow? Hold on here.
The Fred Hoiberg glow is someone's smudgy fingers all over his camera and him refusing to wipe it down before a press conference. That's the Fred Hoiberg glow.
You don't think that yesterday his Zoom, because of the weather, everybody did like a Zoom press conference. You don't think that was like his own phone? Like, hey, Fred, here's the link. You know what? Click into it and then hold it in front of your face.
That's a good point. I thought it was a computer. It looked as if it was a computer.
Yeah.
I mean, still though, someone, I know the people who work in the Husker, social media, digital media area. I know them pretty well. I know them to be high professional, high octane people. You don't think someone could have ran in there with a towel and wiped down the camera so Fred Hoiberg doesn't look like a mess? I mean, you barely could see him.
But the aura, I mean, we're in February. Fred's a god. He's like,
he looked like he was in an eternal James Cameron lens flare. That's what he looked like.
Okay. I will tell you where I'm at. This is a good thing that we're not doing this show outside this morning. So I am in the state of South Dakota with Omaha men's basketball. Huge road trip tonight, South Dakota State. And then they play at St. Thomas. They have a chance to put themselves into a great position to win the league. But they're playing at two places where the home team very rarely wins. I'm a big fan, as you know, of the state of South Dakota, especially like Sioux Falls. No, I am. I like South Dakota. I don't know that I could spend extended time here.
Gary, I with your time going to the Dakotas since I've joined the show, I don't know how many positive words you've said.
Well, that's North Dakota. That's North Dakota. Now, Vermilion is different. Like, Vermilion is way too small. There's nothing to do in Vermilion. There's a lot more to do in Brookings. But I'm a fan of Sioux Falls. I mean, you got 2.5 kids per person, white picket fences everywhere, people work in the credit card industry. I mean, it's a very nice community. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's miserable outside. I flipped on the television because I wanted to see what the top stories were. It is minus 15. Not what it feels like. It's minus 15. In Sioux Falls right now.
What's the feels like?
27 below.
Oof.
And there you go. And the guy on TV, the meteorologist, and I don't know, I think this is the NBC affiliate. The dude was ticking me off because he was excited. He was like, hey, it's minus 15 this morning. And boy, but if you step outside, no, people are not stepping outside. Okay. If you live here in the winter, you don't go outside. And then he was like, but you know what? We have a chance here to set a record. And he got super excited and giddy. And I'm like, you know what? Screw you. I hope you pull a hamstring going back to the set.
Was he a little bit like too sexy for you and how he was telling you how terrible the weather is? Would you rather him be like really depressed and bummy and,
yes, he feels
it's
what
negative
the people
15
feel.
and it's negative 27. Was he just a little bit too play into the camera too much for you with terrible weather outside?
I want my meteorologists to be excited when it's sunny and 75.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you want them to be horrified when it's anything under zero.
I want them to feel our pain when it's cold outside. Like, instead of getting excited yesterday in Omaha about the snow, I want them to sound depressed and go, you know what? It's snowing. It's the first time in 340 days in Omaha we've got more than an inch of snow.
So do you like Sioux Falls, South Dakota, because it reminds you of the time you grew up in? Like all white picket fences, 2.5 children per family, everybody's neighbors. They're still reading the paper.
Is this what Urbandale was like?
Most of the people.
Urban was urban. I mean, Urbandale had some mean streets. I mean, it formed what I am today. I mean,
absolutely.
You lost your skin on your knuckles because you were out there every day fighting for it. I mean, if you wanted to go to school, you probably had to knock somebody out to get to school. They wanted to keep you in the gangs. So no, Sioux Falls does not remind me of Urbandale. Not every Midwestern community is created the same. My Chicago friend.
That reminds me of the slums of Skokie, man. You just described my childhood so perfectly. I couldn't agree more. Just skin off your knuckles and maybe some skin off your knees.
I got you two both beat.
Yeah, I couldn't meet. I think you and I are part of the toughest radio show in all of Nebraska. I think if we were going to do a 2-on-2 everybody in Nebraska sports radio who had a co-host had to fight to the death. I think you and I would for sure be the favorites.
I mean, some people on the station, they live in a gated community, and others, like you and myself, we have to put the bookshelf behind the door at night because we're afraid that somebody's going to break in.
I actually have to put a chair behind my door, and then I have to actually lock that chair into the door.
So
and
do you lock or unlock the burglar bars?
I close my own my own room door, and then I put a chair under my room door. So even if they break into my main room, they can't get into my own, my own bedroom.
Fireworks or gunshots?
You never know,
Both.
especially in Skokie, Illinois.
Both.
It was always a flip of the coin in Skokie, Illinois, whether or not it was gunshots or fireworks.
Gunshots at a party usually meant it would thin out and there was more beer for you.
We are the blue collar of blue collar 1620.
Yeah, we are blue collar radio.
The
you and I.
People's Show.
I understand everybody's problems, that we're all out there fighting for it, that we got to be hustling. I also understand that people should embrace more. I will tell you one thing about being back on the road, because we haven't been on the road for a while, but now we're on the road for
3 home games in a row.
Oh, guess what the temp is?
What's the temp?
First of all, you have to understand when you go outside and people are like, "Oh man, it's cold." And I came prepared for the conditions here in the state of South Dakota. You're outside and you make the little about 7-step walk from the bus to the hotel lobby. But when you come in your room, and in this hotel, where I don't want to give it away because somebody will come in here, it's 83 and it is glorious. I slept so well last night. It was 83. Oh,
you should have been in a Hawaiian shirt.
So I got a question for you.
I brought the covers up. Oh, I'm glad to be back on the road.
Are you like, you love being in a hotel because you know that the heating bill isn't going to your bank account, right? So you just mark it up all the way you can and just get that room as hot as possible because you know you won't be stuck with the bill.
Listen, Omaha Athletics is paying for this hotel room. Okay. So they are paying for service.
Yeah.
And they are paying for the comfort of the people that are in the traveling party. The guys that are going to play basketball tonight are more important than me, but they got to make sure that the voice is, well taken care of. So I don't think they really mind. I think though, you know what? It balances out. People really get on me about this. Now even our players get on me about me jacking the temp up.
Because it's ridiculous.
No, it's a counterbalance because we have some players that like the room at 62. And I'm like, that's way too cold. So I go a little bit higher so that we can meet in the middle. So really the bill that is paid by the Marriott Corporation for the properties in South Dakota, it kind of evens out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to ask a really stupid question.
I'm an economist. See, I understand this.
I was about to ask a stupid question for a second. I was like, do you pay for your utilities when you go to a hotel? Because you were saying that Omaha was paying for it. You were acting as if Omaha was getting put on the bill for you wanting to be in a tropical rainforest for a hotel.
No. There are no extras that are on a credit card or nothing like that. Yeah, it's all encompassing when you go to a hotel.
Have you ever bought a movie?
No.
Okay.
No night nurses from Jersey there.
No, I haven't seen movies for purchase probably in about 5 or 6 years in a hotel, but they were pretty prevalent. Now I flipped through the channels last night looking for a basketball game. They have all the HBO, HBO West Coast, HBO East Coast.
Oh.
They have HBO 1, HBO 2. You can hook your YouTube up. You got your Netflix. Yeah, there's no more purchasing a movie.
See, I'm young, but I'm old enough to remember when purchasing movies at a hotel was a big deal, and how they would have the catalog.
Were you when you were a senior in high school and your parents got you a hotel room to celebrate your graduation?
No. When I was
Put a quarter
like,
in, the
when I
bed
was like,
vibrates.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, they'd have a specific, they'd have the specific movie like area, right? You had different like inputs, and one of the inputs was movies. And so you could scroll through all the potential movies you can get, and they were a little bit pricey. But if Dad wanted to watch the new Born Legacy movie, we were going to do it there in the Marriott in Marco, Florida.
I like Dad. The more I hear about him,
Guys, I'm telling you right now,
Dad's a real one.
you two would get along with my father. My father is. You think I'm a hoot and a holler? That guy is a different type of riot.
Can you say that again? Because you just used an old person's word that I've not heard in ages.
A hoot and a holler.
God bless you.
Yeah,
we're
rubbing off on him.
No, I've always been a hoot and a holler guy. All right.
I hear we have some controversy though amongst the 1620 The Zone hosts. Like right after I got off the air, after we got done yesterday with our baseball talk, I had to speed across the street. I had to get on a bus. We had to fight the elements to get here. Once we got to Sioux City, by the way, on 29, it was okay. And,
nice. Gary Sharman?
No. You got to understand. I'm toughing it out.
You are.
Okay.
In your 83-degree hotel room, you're really toughing out the weather.
I got to be prepared for tonight's game. People are going to come at us. The people here in Brookings don't like Omaha, so I got to fend people off.
There's going to be a riot outside of your hotel room because you're stealing all the heat from the good folks of Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yeah, they can hack it.
They can. Yeah, they're used to it. Yeah.
I hear that there's a little controversy on what the mound of snow is in our parking lot called.
Oh, yeah, Mount
Happer. Mount Happer. Are you as a new guy? Are you as a new guy that are trying to move into that bit?
Yes, it's a better name.
Mount McKinley.
You gotta choose wisely.
He already he surrendered, and then Odson said it sounded good, and then all of a sudden he tweets it out. Oh, Mount Happer, and I'm like, we said it was Mount McMaster. And then they were talking about it on the crossover with Unsportsmanlike Conduct, and they were calling it Mount Happer. It's Mount McMaster now. I've claimed it. I've taken it.
Have you peed on it yet?
I will go and pee on it right now.
It'll freeze, but yeah, you should.
Should I go and take a pee on Mount Happer during the break?
Break's kind of short, so you're gonna have to be quick.
I think it would be good content. I think if we recorded me taking a pee on Mount Happer, it would really. Would really blow up on the 1620 Twitter, I don't know.
That.
Nick Grimm is always
always
bothering me. He goes, "We need more content. We need more." Matt, when you stole the Christmas tree, why didn't you record it? You should have recorded it. It's content. I'm like, all right, Nick, here's content. I'll go and piss on Mount Happer, and it'll be Mount McMaster.
That's how you claim your territory. That is a true thing in the animal world.
Absolutely, I'm the lion. And Happer is Yukon Cornelius.
Now, the question is, can you do it without your hands? Can you spell your name in cursive? That's one of the things I bragged about as a kid.
Yeah.
Four letters.
I mean, I have the advantage of being pretty close to the ground in that regard. So I think I'll be able, with no hands, spell out in cursive my name.
That's all you, Gary. That's all
I'm going to let that one go. It's a busy night of basketball.
Glad you made it to Sioux Falls.
Guys, that was a good one.
It is a busy night of basketball in the 402. Coming up a little bit later, Sarah Baker Hansen will stop by.
Heck yeah.
Brian Edwards will be in as well, all part of the Thursday lineup brought to you by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. I am in South Dakota tonight. Omaha's got a huge game against South Dakota State. Omaha's in first place. They have a game lead over St. Thomas. They have a 2-game lead over South Dakota State. Would you guys like to guess what the line is tonight for Omaha playing in a place that South Dakota State is 11-0?
I think
1.5.
We're gonna do back-to-back guess the lines of the big games in the 402 tonight.
I think this game will be 9.5. 9.5 dog for Omaha.
Okay, so you've looked this up because that's
I haven't.
Yeah,
I have not.
9.5.
I don't think you would have said 9.5. A first place team playing on the road, 9.5 point underdog.
South Dakota State, with how you talk about the Summit League and how you talk about the Dakotas and how the Dakotas are always out to get Omaha and how the Dakotas is a Summit League. I think that definitely, look, even if the line should or shouldn't be 9.5, it's still one of those lines where you look at it and you're like, oh, wow, what a big upset. South Dakota State must be really good because they were a 9.5 point.
I would have said 2.5.
I didn't look at the line. I've been listening to you.
Yeah, so we do this thing.
You guys are the
night
leaders
before
of-
every game. We have a team meal, and we'll play guess the line with the coaches.
Oh.
And so we guess the line of the other Summit League games because, as you know, Vegas sometimes has trouble with mid-major basketball, and so there are some tricky lines that if you know, you know.
Yes.
So we were playing guess the line, and I will tell you that most of the coaches, they were like, I think we're 6.5, 7.5. One person did say 9.5 point underdog for this game tonight. But Omaha's won 7 straight as an underdog. They were an underdog to North Dakota State on Saturday at Baxter. It's crazy, but there's only one way to take care of it.
It's the Dakota Summit League bias. We know this.
Well, it's not only the bias, but I will tell you, people are getting triggered by Omaha's trash can celebration. There's a big story in The Athletic this morning on it. So I'm sure that'll go to the angst of people have against Omaha in this league. So 9.5 point underdog. We'll be on over on 1180 tonight with the game beginning at 6:30 from the beautiful First Bank and Trust Arena. It's a really nice arena in Brookings. Then the other game that will start 30 minutes after we start in Brookings, South Dakota, Nebraska, Maryland. Now, you guys may have already looked up the line. Would you like to guess the line for Nebraska's attempt to win 5 in a row tonight against the Terps?
I do know this line, and I was surprised by it. Jimmy, would you like to guess?
I will guess Nebraska 2.5.
Gary? Oh, he disconnected.
Whoa, he did.
Okay.
Okay, well, you tell me, and then
It
when
was,
he gets back.
Nebraska minus 1.5.
Okay, so I was close.
Doesn't make. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Vegas knows the importance of Berkay Buchtengel, and the fact that he is a defensive pillar of this basketball team, and the fact that his absence. Hey man, how are you?
The audio went out. That's okay. Keep talking. You were on a roll.
Thank you. I don't think Vegas realized that the Berkay Buchtengel's injury is actually massive towards this team, and I think they probably look at the fact that Nebraska's on a 4-game win streak, and for the most part over the last 2 seasons has done well at home. So they go Nebraska win streak home minus 1.5. They don't realize that Nebraska, in my opinion, should be an underdog in this game, considering.
You're right. The metrics, like Ken Palm has him, Torvik and Ken Palm, I think, have him as a 1-point dog. I mean, 1-point dog to 1.5 point favorite. But just my sphere of influence or people that I talk to, why do I sense that there's less confidence in winning this game?
It's because of the Buchtengel injury.
That's big. I mean, okay. He had the best game of his career on Sunday. They have Reese, they have Queen, they have 5 guys that start in double figures. But I'm not trolling or anything. I sense less confidence in Nebraska winning tonight. It's at home. They've won 4 in a row. They went to College Park, where at the time they were playing very poorly. They only lost by 3. Granted, he's not going to be in the lineup, but it's not like you're taking 15 to 20 points on average out of the lineup.
No,
the line is tight. Why is there a sense of confidence that, man, you know what? It's okay. You got Northwestern on the weekend. You don't get tonight. What are we doing here?
Gary, the drop-off is pretty big from what you get on both sides of the floor of Berkay Buchtengel and Braxton Mia and the increased minutes of Andrew Morgan. That's why. And also, too, when your head coach after the Ohio State game is talking about Berkay Buchtengel and says, well, this guy is one of our best players defensively, and defensively analytically, this guy has been incredible for us on this end. And now you're going to have to play a team that has 2 of the best front court mates in the entire Big Ten, and Derek Queen and Julian Reese. Reese, who, by the way, had a great game against you at Maryland. Like, that is a voice for a lot of concern, because Braxton Mia has not been good this year. Okay.
No, but
he has been playing, I think, 5-6 minutes a game at this point, and he was starting to begin the season. And that just goes to show you the drop off that he's had, or at least, he hasn't lived up to those expectations. And Andrew Morgan, while he's a really good offensive player, just does not bring that athleticism and strength you would necessarily want in the defensive end this game.
One guy doesn't.
It's not about Berkay, though. It's about the drop off. It's about you're going from a guy who is serviceable.
So we have no faith that other guys will step up in the absence of a guy that they've had a couple of days. They've had a couple of days to work on without having him in the lineup. I'm not discounting what you're saying. You're spot on. The spacing on both ends of the floor is going to be off tonight.
Awful.
But one guy who is not Jawan Gary or Bryce Williams is not going to change my entire opinion that, oh no, they're in trouble tonight. That's the sense I'm getting, is that, oh man, well, you know what? That run was nice. That's okay. They're still in the tournament. Come on, man. It's only a 1.5 point favorite or a 1 point underdog. It's not like he's out of the lineup and all of a sudden Nebraska goes to being like a 5-6 point underdog. It's going to be a tight game tonight. I also think, though, if we've been talking about in the man that has the glow, Fred Hoiberg, and you trust him in Fred Berary, you trust him with a couple of days of prep without him in your lineup, that you're going to be able to find the right thing. This is a Fred Hoiberg game tonight, right?
Oh,
he has to push all the right buttons, and the substitutions and the minutes he can steal with Braxton Mia on the floor are going to be ginormous tonight.
This is going to be, if they end up winning this game, this is going to be a Fred Hoiberg masterclass. This is going to be him juggling the lineup, understanding the flow of the game, understanding momentum, understanding, hey, this is when I go more offense with Andrew Morgan. This is when I push back with Braxton Mia. He might get to the point tonight where he goes, all right, Mia isn't there. Morgan isn't there. One of these guys isn't playing. Well, we're going to have to go small with Cale Jacobson. And that might have to be the genius move he goes with. And if Cale ends up playing well, we're going to herald him as if he's the Big Ten Coach of the Year, or he might. I don't know if he'll get all the way down to Gavin Griffiths in the lineup tonight. And if that happens, maybe I think things go more south than you think. But I will say this about your people. Well, it's not as if Berkay is one of the best two players. Why is there such a shift in like what we think, and why are people so down? I don't think it necessarily has anything to do with Berkay, and I think it has everything to do with Derek Queen and Julian Reese. And I think it has everything to do with the fact that those two guys are just bangers down low in the paint. And if there was ever not a time to lose your more athletic four who would guard one of those guys, it was heading into this game. And this is the risk you kind of take when you build a team through the portal year in and year out, and you have your hits and you have your misses. Like, they don't have the depth. They don't have the depth that you would maybe have if you were to build this team more primarily through high school players. Now, granted, you wouldn't have the stars you have, arguably, if you were to build this team through high school players. And that gets down through the whole macro argument of, like, how do you build this Nebraska basketball program? That's a whole other convo in itself.
Well, this year you went with you have an odd makeup with reclamation projects. That's what Nebraska basketball portal has become, is guys that are looking for a little bit of a bump, not to the higher stage, but the middle stage, and kind of reclamation projects. Guys that were maybe not, they were playing at their previous stop, but they were not the guy or the second guy, but they get the opportunity to be that third guy at a place where they're going to play more, and the coach probably trusts them a little bit more.
I think this portal class has been that, because last year's portal class wasn't. Last year's portal class was, we're going to go and get the best player from Bradley. We're going to go and get the best player from Charlotte.
You go into two mid-major guys. This year you went and got Power 5 guys.
Power 5 guys with high upside, and they haven't turned out that way. They haven't. Their upside has not come to fruition, which is why you have two guys in Braxton Mia and Gavin Griffiths, who is exactly that. Those are two exact reclamation projects you talk about coming from Power 5 programs who don't really want to play. And so, like, and you don't want to play.
That's an interesting way to describe Gavin Griffiths.
You know what?
I think he would like to play. I just don't think he's going to play.
He's not going. He hasn't been playing, and neither is Mia. I went through the last 5 games, and I went through his stats. Here's Braxton Mia's last 5 games. He's played 6 minutes a game, 1.1 points, 2 rebounds, and 0.4 assists. Okay?
But he did go 3 for 3 at the line on Sunday.
Exactly, which is why he's going to go 0 for 7 at the line tonight. This is how the law of averages works out.
Hold on here. If he goes to the line 7 times tonight, even if he doesn't make 1 free throw, which is crazy to think that you could go to the line in college basketball and not just make 1, that actually, unless they're doing Hakamia.
I was going to say Hakamia.
They are. That actually would be. I think if I don't see this happening, but I'm going to play in your conversation. If he went to the line 7 times, I would think that Nebraska's cooking with some peanut oil tonight.
No, I think that Maryland knows exactly what they're doing, because I don't think he would touch the ball enough on the offensive end. I hope he wouldn't take enough shots to get to 7 free throws. Okay, because if he's taking enough shots to get to 7 free throws, that means that Juwan Gary and Bryce Williams aren't taking enough shots on their own. Because
the story is Andrew Morgan, right? Like the story will be more about Andrew Morgan and Braxton.
Andrew Morgan on how he can perform on the defensive end. I don't think there's any doubt about the offensive ability of Andrew Morgan. I think there is zero doubt that when he gets in the post and when he's aggressive on the offensive boards, he's a game changer on the offensive end. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Maryland game was his 17-point game, right? Or that game that he was
really,
off.
really good.
Yeah. So it'll be more about what he does on the defensive end and not turning the ball over, because he's had some turnover issues this year.
And you remember, if you go back to that Maryland game, they had weird lineups on the floor together that actually helped them get back into the game.
That was Fred, though, being like, this team is broken and I just need to throw stuff at the wall.
But what was you were telling me about the Creighton UConn game, and if it's close and if you would have won, what was the final score?
It was 85-83.
No, not in Maryland, Nebraska.
Yeah. What was the final score? Was it 85?
69-66.
Okay. I thought it was in the 80s. Or was that the Rutgers game? That's neither here nor there.
Rutgers game was 85-82.
There you
go. I believe. Yeah.
Maryland, yeah, attaboy, 69-66. I had 85-82 was Rutgers.
You just gave me an attaboy. I feel very blessed. I feel very blessed today.
You and I we're good friends. I can give you an attaboy.
Yeah, a young kid giving me an attaboy. I have to put you in detention.
1.5 point favorite is an incorrect line from Nebraska. I mean, Josh in the chat is saying Matt is acting tonight as NC State versus Phi Slamma-Jamma. I'm not. I'm saying that
now I can't wait.
This game is closer.
I'd go to that game.
I think this game.
Anyone using your tickets?
Hell of a game. This game's closer to like Maryland -2.5. And I think the drop off on defense and the fact that Braxton Mia is going to have to play more than 15 minutes tonight after his long-standing slew of performances does not make me comfortable playing against this Maryland team. But
they've had days to prep without having number 9 in the lineup, and they already knew it. So there will be something unorthodox that they will do tonight, I imagine. But the spacing will be off. They're going to have to work on the spacing when you don't have 9 on the floor.
Braxton Mia has not been playing well this season, and now you're going to have to play him for 15 to 20 minutes this game.
Ooh.
And
that's a lot. Unless he's playing well, I don't see him playing that much. But you're going to have to steal minutes when he's on the floor, and whatever fouls you have to give, you'd rather have him foul out than anybody else.
You have 30 minutes to allot now. So how would you allot those 30 minutes?
Yeah. All right, we'll talk more about tonight's game in Lincoln. Again, I'm on the road with Omaha men's basketball in first place in the Summit. They got 5 games to go with a chance to win the regular season and get the number 1 seed. They're at South Dakota State. Plus, we've got some what is going on in Lincoln with Dylan Raiola? Why is the Riz in Lincoln? Or Baby Gronk, excuse me.
I don't have any comment on that. I mean, or I do have comments on it. It's I don't know. We're getting to the point where I don't.
Baby Gronk has been in Lincoln for the last couple of days, and now he's appeared with Nebraska's quarterback.
I just don't want to sound like old man screaming from trees, to young man. But like, it's just I just can't stand Baby Gronk, so I just think it's embarrassing.
Yeah, save that thought, because
he's a young version of me. He's very crotchety this morning. I love it.
Bear K it's a big drop off from Bear K to Braxton when you're going to go and play Maryland, who's got 2 of the best front court mates in the Big Ten. It's a big drop.
Maybe Vegas doesn't feel the same way.
I don't think Vegas knows what it's doing in this game. I think
Vegas builds tall buildings for a reason.
I think I have them beat. Every once in a while, we got the house. I think today I have them beat. I have them beat. Hey, we got our handicapper Brian Edwards coming on. I'll ask Brian ask Brian, hey, what do you think about this line? 'Cause
Brian's
I
gonna
think I
ask
know
Matt.
more
No,
than-
you will ask him, do you think I have Vegas beat?
Yeah.
And he will
I
tell
had
you. He
him
will
beat
tell
us,
you
Dave
tales
Murphy.
of young gamblers that thought the same way. And the next thing you know, they're behind the counter going, "Would you like fries with that?"
Is that my future? Are you documenting my future right now?
Just stay within the guardrails.
I have too many bad takes. That's going to happen to you, Master.
It is Gary and Matt with Jimmy, off and rolling on a Thursday morning. Glad to have you in. It is dangerously cold out there, whether you're in South Dakota or back in the 402. So be smart out there. School is back. The road. How are the roads, by the way?
Good.
Fantastic.
They're good.
Okay.
They're good. They're
Omaha greater than Lincoln in clearing the streets?
Tell us, Matt. I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, I'd say so. In my very brief and small experience, currently, I would say Omaha did a better job than Lincoln.
Shout out Big O.
but
Thank you, guys.
But my word is not gospel.
No, I respect your opinion. I mean,
I'm just trying not to get myself in trouble
with plow drivers of Lincoln?
with just everybody in Nebraska who doesn't think I know what I'm talking about. But Omaha in this go around did a better job than Lincoln.
I got a thought about something you were
Yeah,
tweeting
we'll get
about
to
last night. We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
It's
We'll get
Gary and Matt with Jimmy at 1620 The Zone.
Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com.
Your home is your most valuable investment. When replacing your roof, entrust it to the MVPs in Omaha. Moose Roofing. Pat and his team have roofed thousands of homes in the Omaha area. At Moose Roofing, their passion is taking care of families by providing revolutionary, highly functional, visually appealing, and fortified roofing systems. And they'll navigate the insurance process for you the entire way. Contact Moose Roofing today at mooseroofing.com because
the Moose knows how to roof.
Hey Novas Nation, your Omaha Supernovas are back in charging towards another pro volleyball title. Because of you, the CHI Health Center is the toughest place to play in all of professional volleyball, averaging nearly 13,000 fans per match. Be there Sunday, February 16th at 3 p.m. as the Supernovas take on the San Diego Mojo. Get your tickets now at the CHI box office or by visiting supernovas.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
March Madness is coming, and so are AEF Fall, Winter, Spring, Summer team tryouts. AEF Academy is the fastest growing youth basketball program in the metro area with second grade through 17 under boys and girls teams. AEF runs a professionally structured evaluation process that provides objective insight for team placement while targeting specific individual player needs. There is no charge to try out, but registration is required. Get all the details today at aefacademy.com. AEF Academy, development driven.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds.
On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers,
we've been overindulging a little more than usual over the holidays. But now, we are starting the new year off on a healthier note by taking Active Liver supplements from New Nordic every day.
Active Liver contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract, all natural ingredients that help protect the liver so that it can protect you from toxins. It's like giving my body a daily detox. I've never felt better, and my energy is through the roof.
And my doctor is already impressed with how much better my numbers are looking. So if better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
Active Liver is available in both tablets and as a delicious gummy. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
The Creighton women's basketball team looks to continue their winning ways in conference this Saturday when the Georgetown Hoyas come to DJ Sokol Arena. Join John Schreiner and Rob Sims at 3 o'clock for all the action. It's Creighton and Georgetown, Saturday at 3 on 1620 The Zone.
Gary and Matt are back on 1620 The Zone.
Happy Galentine's Day to everybody that is celebrating.
Happy Galentine's Day indeed.
This is a chance for you to make friends at local establishments like Pinnacle Bank Arena tonight.
I will not be going to Pinnacle Bank Arena tonight. I do not want to make that trip. Why are you smiling like that?
Because what happened to your camera? Because I'm looking up your nose here.
Oh, do you want me to? So
He's
we
trying
thought maybe
things.
we'd change it. I was looking down because when I we'll give a little inside baseball here. When I switch the cameras, right?
Oh, look at that.
I'm looking
You
down.
look different, yeah.
You know, like because you're on my computer screen. So like, do you want to see less of me, or do you want to see more of me?
That's a good look right there for you.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. You don't get to see my receding hairline from the right to left side. You know, you get to see.
He's going to get no
head on.
sympathy in this building. None of us.
Yeah.
Not yet.
I'm destined for baldness.
With that attitude.
I am. I'm destined. I just know my brother's hair. His hairline is like the Great Wall of China. That thing has not moved in years. It has not. He has the same hairline since he was in dang 8th grade. Okay, my father still has hair on his head. My uncle, bald. Everybody on my mom's side of the family, bald.
Oh, you're screwed. Yeah.
It is going away already. And I'm already, like I told you, I've said it many times, I'm on the Japanese tea tree oil, shampoo that I can never get off of for the rest of my life, that I have to let soak in my hair for 5 minutes. So I used to be a quick shower guy. I used to be in, put it on the hand, done. I then go to the body. Then I go back a little bit on the conditioner, back to the body. I was done in 3.5 minutes. It was a beautiful routine. Now I have to sit. I have to put it in my hair.
5
I got
minutes.
to wait for 5 minutes. Then I have to do my body. Then I got to put the conditioner in,
5
and
minutes.
the conditioner's got to be in there for 3 minutes. So now I'm up to like a 10-minute shower, and I absolutely hate it. It's the worst. It's called adulting. to
First
keep my
world
hair.
problems.
Yeah, you know that I've tiptoed
What?
around just getting rid of it all.
Yeah.
I went to my local barbershop, long established local place here in Omaha, place that, Omahans work at, place called Great Clips. So I went there, and, the one thing I like about Great Clips is they have, your past history on file.
Yeah.
And so when you sit down in the chair and they go, "Oh, you want the 2 again?" So we had the discussion about what should I do, and the stylist said, "Well, why don't you just let it grow out?" And I said, "It's not happening. It's not going anywhere."
No.
And I'm thinking about buzzing it. And she goes, "No, I would just let it grow out." And I'm like, And And the next thing you know, she took care of the back, took care of the sides, and I got a neck and beard trim and didn't get a haircut. I walked out of there after paying like $12.
I was about to say
That's a good deal.
$12 down.
And
you
I'm
know.
like, did I get just
You
like,
got fleeced.
yeah.
You
I'm
should
like
just
usually pretty
do it.
good at that.
You're at the point now where I don't think you need to be going to Super Clips. Or
It's great
Sports
clips. Thank you.
Or Great Clips. Like you don't need to.
You
can-
want him to get like a designer hair
No, I
person,
think you
or-
should just like you got clippers, and I think when you need a
Oh,
trim, you can give yourself a trim.
No, that would be disaster. It'd be
What if
disaster.
What if I cut your hair?
Oh, there's
that-
content.
That would
Yeah,
be
there he is.
Mount
Get Nick Grimm on the
McMaster.
phone. Hey, get Nick Grimm on. Hey, Nick, I got an idea. Nick.
no. I think I will pass. But see, my hair grows in the back. I need it to grow in the front. I need frontage. I like the front, not the back.
Yeah, obviously we all.
I'm a front guy, not a back guy. I don't go in the back door. I come in the front door.
You come in the front.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. So I think I'm really like. So I got this haircut, and I'm pretty sure immediately I go. I think like once every month or once every 2 months, I'm going to get a haircut to keep it like at this style. I am now realizing that the hair is leaving. Like there was like you go back, I get these Snapchat memories, and I'm like, oh, the hairline is farther back now than what it used to be. And when I came in here in October, I had really long hair, right?
Yeah.
I'm now recognizing I don't know how many more times in my life I'm going to be able to really grow out the hair.
That's a great point.
And
You need to grow it out
looks
now.
good. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how many more times I'm gonna really get the lettuce out and to really get the lion mane combed all the way back.
He's right.
So
You got to do it one more time.
I think for the one we're calling this the last ride, I am going to grow out the hair, and I don't think I'll cut it until
football season.
The Huskers play Cincinnati.
There you go.
Well, that's nearly 200 days.
Yeah. I don't think I'll cut the hair until the Huskers play Cincinnati.
In the parking lot at
I'm not
Arrowhead.
making a promise. I'm not because
No.
my mind can change, and maybe I get a girlfriend and she's like, "Nope, you got to cut it." Like I don't want to look at you like that.
She already
But
has
as
control.
of right now, yeah, my imaginary girlfriend
Already bossing you
has got
around.
me wrapped around her finger. As of right now, though, we're just gonna grow it out, and we're gonna see what happens.
Mine just told me to
Okay.
quit smoking, and that was
And
fair.
then for the first game, I'll show up in Kansas City, and it'll be cut, and everyone will be like, "Oh my god," you know.
All right.
be trending at Arrowhead.
All right. I hope you can make it that far.
Me too.
I mean, maybe if Nebraska beats Maryland tonight, you, as a tribute to Andrew Morgan, just saying.
Yeah. Or
Hey.
a tribute to Jawan Gary or Bryce Williams is what I'm hoping it's going to be. No offense to Morgan. I love Morgs, but I think it's a tribute to one of those two guys.
All right, I'm going to tell you something that people can change. You know, they tell you that as you get older, you don't change. You know, we don't like change. We get uncomfortable with change.
Rocky dispelled that theory in Russia.
That's true. And there are some things that happen in sports that I'm like, this is a terrible idea. And then I get a taste of it, and I'm like, I'm very, very mixed. I know you were watching last night, and I started to watch, and I thought I was watching I thought I was watching hockey that I play on a video game, and I fell in love with 3-on-3, 10-minute overtime. I was determined not to have any interest in the four nations that are going on. And then I watched last night, but I'm torn here as a hockey person because you're a hockey person, and we're watching Canada and Sweden, and I'm seeing Sid helping out everybody on the ice, and he looks like he's having more fun than he's having with the Pens this year. I am torn because as a hockey fan, I loved it. As an NHL fan, I hated it.
Why did you hate it?
Because it has shut down my league for 2 weeks. And for example, if I'm Vegas, I just saw one of my stars get injured last night.
Sure.
And because, okay, so the hockey fan goes, man, Marchand in Montreal, I can cheer. The NHL fan goes, he's a Bruin. Screw that guy.
Yeah. So great point. These are all phenomenal points. I want to counter it with this though. We're in Omaha and we're talking about hockey. We're going to go, you're going to turn on ESPN today, and in the B or C block, they're going to be talking about hockey. And in part of the interruption today and Around the Horn, they'll be talking about how the NBA and the NFL and the MLB need to look themselves in the mirror like the NHL did and maybe make similar changes because last night was so great. And so while I agree with you from the NHL fan of a team perspective, yeah, maybe like my players getting hurt and playing in really competitive hockey might negatively impact my team. But from the NHL getting like good marketing and getting good convos and like from a publicity standpoint, it's incredible for hockey. And there are people now who, by the way, announcing a Sweden national game has to be like the easiest thing of all time, right? Because it's just Anderson to Eriksson to Carlson over to Gustafsson, back down to Larson, throws it over to Dahlin, you know? Like it's got to be one of the easiest jobs in the game. But all that to say, I absolutely loved it. I get where you're coming from a fan of hockey to the fan of the NHL, but like hockey is just a sport in general where it's so great, but not enough people get to have the eyes on it. The fact that we get to, as a sport, put forward the very, very best this sport has to offer during a time where there's not a ton of other sports going on, I think is incredible for the game. I know where you're coming from the competitive and team NHL aspect of it, but just from the game standpoint, it's incredible.
I don't like that the league shut down for a couple of weeks. I mean, the league already, it has no place on ESPN. I know, but it's multiple weeks. People don't understand it. I'm hoping, so the hockey fan watching last night was like, that's the best of the best. I love Olympic hockey. I also understand playing something like this in season adds to it. If we're playing it in the summer, not as much in season, but here's where will be the test tonight. So Jake Gensel, so there's a connection if you're, former Mav, former Penn. USA Finland plays tonight. Last night was electric in Montreal, Canada and Sweden. But will it be as electric for USA Finland? See, that's
Finland's is not nearly as deep.
But regardless of who they're playing, Matt, just okay, it's 4 nations, it's USA. We get excited for red, white, and blue. That'll be the test tonight.
You know why this is all going on. It's because the United States has dominated in the World Juniors in the last 2 years, and Canada has not even made it to the final in the last 2 World Juniors tournaments. And so we're at the point now where people are starting to rumble, hey, USA hockey might be better than Canadian hockey. And there's not many ways to piss off a Canadian, but one of them is saying that the USA is better at hockey than you are. And there hasn't been a Winter Olympics with NHL players since 2014. And so this is really all for that one Canada versus United States game. You and I both know that. And so, yeah, will the electricity be as high for Finland versus USA tonight? No. But USA versus Sweden is going to be a really, really good game. And then gather around your TVs, warm your cockles, get your popcorn. USA versus Canada. Let's frickin' go.
I think that maybe becoming the 51st state might rile up the Canadian a little bit more than telling them that USA hockey is better than their hockey. But I'm just speculating.
Pure speculation. I actually like my theory. I think actually they would prefer to be the 51st state than lose to the United States in hockey. Let's put a poll question out there for Canadians only.
In Omaha.
What would you rather?
All
have?
6 of you.
Hey, there's a strong body of Canadians that live in Omaha, just like the Germans, the German Russians that live in Lincoln.
Lincoln, yeah.
Mm-hmm. When we come back in the next hour, we will talk a little bit more basketball. Again, Nebraska, big game tonight against Maryland, trying to win 5 in a row. Omaha, by the way, trying to win 4 in a row. They're at South Dakota State tonight. Also, Villanova did Creighton a favor, or did they, yesterday?
Oh, look at the spin zone, Sharp.
Yeah. Plus Dylan Raiola and Baby Gronk.
Hell no.
They're together. They could be a team. They might be coming to a high school gym near you.
Did roll off for Baby Gronk?
But only if they get paid, right? Only if they get paid will they come to your high school gym?
What is going on here?
Hour number 2 of Gary and Matt coming up next.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 1620, The Zone Traffic.
From the Plumrite Time-Saving Traffic Center. 72nd and Blondo northbound was closed earlier from an accident that has since reopened, and the accident has been cleared. However, the earlier crash at Chandler and Fort Crook is still being worked on. Not seeing any major delays in that area and should hopefully be cleared soon. No new accidents or major obstructions or delays to report. The roads are still slick out there. Stay safe and wear that seatbelt. I'm Peter Krenzer.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Woodhouse Auto Family.
From family road trips in a spacious SUV to heavy-duty hauling in a powerful truck, Woodhouse has the vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Browse a huge selection of new or pre-owned vehicles from top brands and complete your purchase online. It's the Woodhouse difference. Get started today at woodhouse.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
Do you like to shoot fireworks? Would you like to get paid to shoot fireworks? J&M Displays wants you. Help shoot an Omaha Storm Chasers game, Memorial Park display, or any of the major shows in Western Iowa and all of Nebraska. If you like to travel, J&M covers Nebraska, Kansas, and most of Missouri. They offer free training and great daily pay rates, which makes it a perfect part-time job. Visit jnmdisplays.com and click the Join Our Team tab to find out more. J&M Fireworks.
KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
Hey there, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Attention park goers, have a friendly reminder that the Nebraska State Park System is open for you. Whether it's wildlife watching or hiking or maybe sightseeing or even winter camping, the majority of our Nebraska State Park areas are available to you. Just need your state park permit and money for those camping fees. Hope to see you. I'm Greg Wagner, Nebraska Game and Parks.
And we're back. Here's Gary, Matt, and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
All right, good Thursday morning, everybody. Split show from the state of South Dakota, where Mr. McMaster has yet to travel to.
No, never been there.
And Matt and Jimmy are both in studio back in Omaha. Bundle up if you're headed outside. Here in South Dakota, in Sioux Falls, it is minus 15.
Yeah, what was your car temperature when you got in today, Mr. Chavez?
Out there on the main streets where I live, -9.
You were I was only -2. So it's cold, and I don't have gloves.
And you don't have gloves?
You don't have gloves? Like at all? Like
we got to buy gloves.
You're Chicago. You should be teaching me how to do
gloves.
You
Jimmy,
forgot them?
I forgot.
Well,
Yeah.
that's different.
Well, if I had them, I'd be wearing them.
Not in here. It's
What
hot
do you
in
mean?
here.
What do you mean you forgot? Obviously, I forgot them.
You made it sound like you don't own them. That's
No,
different.
I'm not,
Forgetting is okay.
I'm not Mr. Tough Guy where I'm like, I don't own gloves, you know?
You Southerners don't need gloves.
No, I just forgot them.
Oh, that's you don't need to buy gloves. You'll be okay.
Gary, would you like to lead?
No, I'm enjoying the bad hotel coffee. Thank you.
I haven't even had my coffee.
I once
you can see it in his face.
I once looked down on a friend of mine who said, when I go on the road, I bring my own coffee, my own coffee maker. And I'm like, I don't know about that. And he said, it's a game changer. So you can tell the quality of the hotel by the coffee in the room and the size of the coffee maker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happening to be staying in a place where the coffee maker is like the size of my hand. So that gives you a sense of the coffee.
Oof. Would you? I one time stayed at a hotel where the coffee maker was a Keurig, and it was
fantastic. Well, fantastic.
Oh my God, It was incredible. Like just to wake up on vacation, and it already had the pods.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you just grabbed a pod and you plopped one in there. You made it. It was
back in bed.
Insane how game changing that is.
Now, there are more and more of those. I don't know if they're Keurigs, but they do have the pods where I guess it's a Keurig. Now, if you have extra pods that you don't use, do you take them with you? Asking for a friend?
Oh,
of course.
I don't know what here's the thing. I've never paid a hotel bill before. So I should ask my parents if they got charged per pod. Like, I don't know if there was a charge on if they went back through and they counted.
No.
They're there for you to take.
No.
Are they there for you to take?
Do we need to go stay in a hotel and I can teach you the ropes as a longtime hotel stayer?
I'm going to be real with you. Like, my relationships with hotels is just like I had a hockey game the next day. So we would, enter in, we chill out, we go and eat, I go sleep, I wake up, I play 2 games in one day, I go back to the hotel, I sleep and eat again.
Yeah, this isn't like flying, this isn't like flying on Spirit Airlines. They don't charge you like by the pod. Like
I don't know.
The coffee that you use. Now you might be in a bougie place that has got the the fridge that's got the food there already for you, or it's got the $5 bottle of water that's ready for you, and you're like, oh man, I need a water. But then you're like, oh, I think I just spent $5 on a Dasani.
Yeah,
on
no
a natural resource.
I'm not really a hotel veteran in that regard. Haven't spent too much time in hotels to really know the ins and outs. You should though. You could buy so I bought the Keurig right for the office, and it's a
Much
bigger,
appreciated.
like it's not the biggest one you can get, but there's a one that's even smaller than that. Why is that funny? It's not. I wasn't getting the $180 Keurig for the
No
office.
one expected you to.
And so, but you can get a smaller one that's almost like portable that you could take, like you could pack in your bag.
Our coaches would do that at KU because they were done with hotel coffee.
Yeah. So
I think this hotel has free coffee in the lobby.
Is the mark of a good hotel? I think though is continental breakfast. If you have a continental breakfast, that tells me that you came to play.
Like one that you help yourself, or there's actually like somebody like an omelet station.
Oh, well, that's a whole other level.
That's next level.
I was just kind of talking like, hey, it's a buffet and you can make your own waffle,
Okay, so on the standard of hotel breakfast, is it also determined the strength of the continental breakfast by if people give an F what they wear, or if they actually put some clothes on?
So there definitely
That's a great
are.
point.
I think this is a bone cut and dry type deal. There's tier 1 and there's tier 2. Tier 1 is, hey, you got to look pretty decent. Like you can't just roll out of bed. Like you probably have to take a shower before you go down there. And there is an omelet station, and the guy who's cooking your omelet has like an apron and a chef's hat on. Like that's tier 1. Okay, you'll find those at your very, very nice places. Tier 2 is, like you just walk down the stairs. There's an orange juice and an apple juice station and a coffee station.
Make your own waffle.
And the eggs very clearly have been made with a powder. And the best thing there is a sausage and maybe the waffle maker if it's working.
He's not wrong.
There's
true.
no in between. There is zero in between.
Totally just took me there.
On hotel breakfast. And then there's the one where you go down there and they're like, there's rats in the kitchen. I think I'll just go to the diner across the street.
Whoa.
Yeah, we don't stay in those places.
Yeah.
There's some
Well, good.
restrictions on that with student athletes.
Good. I'm glad that Omaha shelled out a nice buck for you.
Does he know your hack to go have free breakfast at the hotels? Because this would be a great day to do
Is
that.
this a hack? What hack? What do you do?
You just go to the hotel.
You go to the hotel.
And what are they going to do about it?
They don't know that you're not staying there.
They don't. Yeah, like the guy that's working the desk. Maybe you checked in overnight.
Sure.
How many times you ever been eating a hotel breakfast and they've come and asked for your key? They're like, "Hey, do you?"
Well, I've been to a hotel breakfast where they give you tickets.
Well, yeah, that's different. But you have to have it scouted
tier
out
one.
first.
That's
Yeah,
tier
you,
one.
Yeah, you have to know if there are like tickets. Like they're gonna grab your ticket off the table
Yeah.
when they come to wait on you.
But like, is
This would be your tier
you,
2.
you could slide in, like you walk into a hotel, you walk through the lobby, and you immediately go into the breakfast. But you look like you're either in town for a convention.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to go in the front door, or you go in the front door, get on the elevator, go to the top floor, get off, wait in the lobby for about 10 minutes, come back down, and then you go into the breakfast. And they would never know.
And look grumpy. Have RBF. They won't ask you
I
anything.
don't know how much of a hankering I have for a La Quinta breakfast buffet. Like I don't think I pass by a Holiday Inn and I'm like, oh, I know where I'm eating this week. I know where I'm going.
Well, sometimes when you're not able to get plasma during that month, and finances are tough.
Sure.
Get a good meal.
You got to adjust on the fly.
You put it on black too many times. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So last night we had a interesting night of basketball. St. John's got beat. They had their 10-game winning streak snapped after they got ranked in the top 10. Oh, by the way, they play host to Creighton on Sunday. Hey, we have simultaneous Nebraska Creighton basketball on Sunday.
I haven't told you about my dream triple screen coming up, correct? I mean,
you have not.
So on TV1 you have Nebraska versus Northwestern, which just absolutely tears my heart apart. And then on TV2 you have Creighton versus St. John's, which is which honestly that will get the volume. Okay, because it's a top 25 matchup. And then on the smaller TV3,
Daytona 500,
Daytona baby, got Daytona right on the floor, looking right up at you. Did you see the qualifying yesterday? My guy Priest, he's in second. He's going to do well. Jimmy Johnson in the 84. How about that?
Yeah, it's going to be odd to see him not in the 48.
I know.
Or the color scheme of Blaney's car.
That's a good point.
But last night, so St. John's gets beat. A good and bad thing maybe for Creighton. Good, you have a chance to go to the Garden on Sunday and be in first in the Big East. Or you're walking into what's going to be a WWE Sunday. It could be a bloody Sunday with St. John's coming off a loss in which they played extremely dumb basketball last night at Villanova. I don't think it's a good thing that St. John's lost last night. That's not a good thing for Creighton. Not a good thing for Creighton.
Have the guys just way too fired up and way too ready to go.
This actually might be perfect for Pitino. They were getting a lot of love.
Yeah.
They've won 10 in a row. I have no idea. Well, first of all, they got St. John's last night by Villanova, who played that style of game where it was very bloody knuckle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Villanova is a tough team to figure out because you saw, they almost upset Creighton. They have two guys that are going right now, in Poplar and Dixon, and they're playing close games at home. And they just won last night. And I'm thinking, what are they going to do with Kyle Neptune? They're a confusing team that could either go one and done in the Big East tournament, or they could have a magical run. I'm more towards closer to the one and done. But last night, 61% of St. John's field goal attempts were from beyond the arc.
You cannot take
They don't
61
shoot very
shots.
well. What are they doing?
You cannot take 61 shots and have 37 of them come from the three-point line if you're St. John's. What did I tell you yesterday? A very dumb statement from me that Villanova has washed out literally like 12 hours later. I go, you do not want to get into a bloody knuckle, slobber knocker 70. I think I exactly said 70-72 basketball game with St. John's. And that's exactly what happened last night. And credit to Villanova when St. John's did go to go to the hoop. They didn't foul them. St. John's only went to the line 10 times. Now, St. John's not a great free throw shooting team, but they do take a lot of free throws because of their ability to get to the hoop. Ejiofor had by far his worst game of the year. Nova handed you a gift. Like, I get where you're coming from. I know what you're coming from. Like, maybe this is a bad thing that Pitino's going to have the boys raring and ready to go. But, like, if there was ever motivation for Creighton, right? Because you still, if St. John's had won the game yesterday, you go in and you're like, all right, St. John's is a really good team. We're on the road. This is going to be a very, very difficult game to win. And even if we do win it, we are still a game behind in the Big East, and we're praying that St. John's drops one of their 2 games against Marquette and UConn. Now you're entering St. John's, you're entering the Garden, and you're like, here it is. Like, if there was ever, I mean, not that there was needed to be extra motivation, but like, this is Creighton's shot. This is their opportunity. Like, I get St. John's is going to be ready to go. I get that St. John's is going to be fired up. I get that the argument that, like, Pitino, hey, might be good for them because they really need to beat Creighton. But, like, Creighton's got it now. Like, you win and you probably coast to the Big East title. This is your opportunity. So I get that Pitino's going to have his guys ready, but Mac is going to have his guys ready too.
I'm more Creighton. I'm more believable that Creighton will lose 2 in a row than St. John's losing 2 in a row.
Yeah, I don't think that's a hot take. Yeah, I think that, I mean, is what it is. I mean, and St. John's being at home is good too, but you got to remind ourselves here that Creighton beat St. John's already this year, and so they have the confidence that they can do it. Now, it was at home.
Well, and St. John's had 2 opportunities to win the game at the end, and they blew it. Styles make fights, right?
Absolutely.
I don't think that was a good thing. I don't think St. John's losing last night. Pitino's going to look at it as, okay, we got what was coming to us.
No, I'm in agreement, but I think it goes both ways. I think it absolutely goes both ways because now Creighton's going to enter.
Change the style that's going to be played on Sunday, though. That's the problem.
No, but we're talking about motivations here. We're talking about just pure fight, pure willingness, pure want, pure hunger, pure desperation to win. You're alluding to the fact that Nova beating St. John's is going to make them more fierce, more desperate, more willing to put their bodies on the line to win. I think it goes the other way as well with the fact that now the first place in the Big East is also on the line. And so that has added an extra motivation for Creighton to do that as well.
All right, coming up, we'll talk about Nebraska's quarterback. Again, Baby Gronk is hanging out in Lincoln. Nobody seems to know why he's been there for the last couple of days. Is he filming content?
I can't.
Is the family already moved to Lincoln? Has he committed to Nebraska, one of his 47 schools that he's committed to?
It's not the kid's fault. It is not the kid's fault, but I can't scan Baby Gronk. Okay? Can't scan him.
So on your list of very similar people, the ones you can't stand the most, Baby Gronk, the Riz, or the Costco family?
I love the Rizzler. And I like Big Justice. I think Big Justice it's the dads. That's the thing. I'm not a fan of adults who expose their children in order to become famous on social media. I am not a fan of that. Okay. Now, maybe you could point out to other instances where people you may like may have done that. But in the realm of social media, you exposing your child and making him look like a buffoon in order for you to get some popularity is crazy. Okay. It is certifiably crazy. That kid, I'm going to tell you something right now. We talk about these TikTok scars, right? Yes. The reason why I wasn't a TikTok scar isn't because I'm like I wasn't 6'3" and absolutely gorgeous. The reason I wasn't a TikTok scar was because if I did that, I would have been made fun of at school and I would have 0 friends. Okay.
But you'd have a lot of money.
But I'd have a lot of money. So it's just,
friends.
There's a give and take. But like, that kid is setting himself up for whatever school he goes to for people just to look at him differently and look at him funny and make fun of him. And I'm not a fan of that. But it's also his dad could have some notoriety.
He did a bit with the quarterback at Nebraska. 2 strong brands, right?
Yeah, strongest in America.
We'll discuss when we come back. It's Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone. AEF Academy is one of the fastest growing youth basketball programs in the Omaha area. You've heard me talking about it. They do a great job over at their brand new facility, 99th and Porter Road in Papillion. They got 3 hardwood courts. They are in it to win it. Brand new, attitude, effort, focus. That's what AEF stands for. And they live those 3 core values from their coaches to their administration to their athletes to become impact players both on and off the court in their communities. The program is growing. Another year, they're going to be on the Recruit Look circuit with their older teams, and spring and summer tryouts are right around the corner. You do not want to miss this opportunity. They're absolutely free to try out 2nd grade through 17 under boys and girls teams. Now, when you get into a tryout situation, you have no idea how you're being evaluated. One thing I can tell you with AEF, they got a professionally structured evaluation process. They're going to give you objective insight for team placement while targeting specific individual player needs. They're going to put you on the right team and on the right path. There is no charge to try out, but they do ask that you register, and you can go online today for more information and the dates for those tryouts, 2nd grade through 17 under boys and girls teams at afacademy.com. It's development driven with their coaches who are paid, trained, and dedicated to putting the best product out there to help you. Their emphasis is on the journey, not the scoreboard, and also you getting better. And they bring people in from the outside. What are you doing this Monday? Yeah, look at your calendar. What are you doing this Monday? Stephen Ashworth, when he gets back from taking on St. John's, will be at AF this upcoming Monday for his camp. He did one back in January. Great turnout. He puts on a great camp. You'll learn a lot. It's a lot of fun, just like AEF is. For more information on the tryouts and the Stephen Ashworth camp coming up on Monday, go to the website, afacademy.com.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
And this is what I asked you. It's just like, how have they done this? How have they turned this around? Without skipping a beat, you respond to coaching. It's so obvious, but to see where they were not that long ago. And the other thing, John, is that they're winning games by different scores. This next stretch is really going to tell the story in terms of where they will be seated and what we're talking about when we get a month and a half now.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7.
Cold weather advisory to start Thursday with wind chill values 15 to 25 below zero early on. We will see plenty of sunshine throughout the day. South breeze picks up in the afternoon. Cold with highs in the upper teens. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
It's a celebration of love with 50% off jewelry at Saul's.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Plummerite Time-Saving Traffic Center. There is a crash 275 eastbound on the bridge near Maple. Right now that is blocking the right lane. Another crash just reported at 126th and L westbound. A few lanes are blocked in that area. Traffic building up I-80 eastbound between 84th and 72nd, as well as JFK northbound from Q Street to I-80. Please stay safe and wear that seatbelt. I'm Peter Krenzer. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Fernando's.
Love Languages, presented by Fernando's. For spending quality time.
Let's go out and get tacos.
Come and feel the love at Fernando's, 75th and Pacific, 114th and Dodge, and FernandosOmaha.com.
Woodhouse Nissan is your next destination when looking for a vehicle. Browse our full lineup of SUVs like the adventure-ready Nissan Rogue, packed with features you actually want. Serving our metro for over 20 years. This is Woodhouse Nissan.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your County Veteran Service Officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's another Energy Media radio station you may want to put in your presets. Check out Sweet 98.5, Omaha's workday favorites for hits from the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and today. An Omaha legend, Sweet 98.5.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com with Gary Sharp and Matt McMaster.
All right, welcome back in. Gary and Matt Split Show. I'm on the road with Omaha men's basketball. They are in Brookings, South Dakota, taking on South Dakota State. That comes up tonight. That's over on 1180, beginning at 6:30. Nebraska basketball, huge game tonight at home against Maryland, 7:30 tip at PBA. Nebraska is a 1.5-point favorite in that game against the Terrapins of Maryland and everybody's favorite, Kevin Willard.
He's done a pretty good job this year. He's done a good job. It's been a good team. You know? Everybody's favorite.
You seem to be a little bit perturbed about Nebraska basketball.
I just don't. I'm just getting hammered in the comments for saying that I think Maryland should be a favorite in this game, and people are there. You know, I don't think
the kid likes turtles.
I think that my points are incredibly valid. I do not think that Nebraska should be favored going into this game. I think the reason Berke Buchtengel, despite the fact he was terrible on offense during that 6-game skid, and the fact that he was taking stupid shots and making stupid plays on offense, the reason why he was still getting 25 to 30 minutes a game was because he actually is a really good defender. And in that defense, with your rotations and your doubles and your switches, you need a guy like him who's big and who's long and and who's also athletic, who can guard the post, but also has the ability to get out to the perimeter. Okay. They lose that completely. I mean, even Fred Hoiberg, immediately when he got injured, mentioned how important Berke is to their defense and how analytically he is one of their best defenders. And the drop-off because of the lack of depth on this team from Berke to either Braxton Mia or Andrew Morgan or Cale Jacobson on the defensive end is steep. And they happen to be playing a team that has an incredible front court that will make you pay. Now, there was a great comment, forgot who made it. Sal said, in the end, it's not about role players, though. Bryce and Juwan have got to have it every night. I agree with Sal. And at the end of the day, yeah, what Mia does and what Morgan does is important, but Bryce Williams and Juwan Gary have to be the alphas tonight and help clean up the glass and make sure that Maryland isn't getting too many.
That's why you are the person I was referencing, that I sense a lot of less confidence in this game tonight because of one guy. If he made that big of a difference, the line would be different. But your point about Juwan Gary is right. Juwan Gary has been quietly a dog, D-A-W-G. Yes. That's what the kids like to say, the kids that I hang around with, that it's a D-A-W-G. It's not D-O-G, Gary.
D-O-G is disrespectful.
You can't call somebody a dog, like a D-O-G, and get away with it. You have to be a D-A-W-G.
Because D-A-W-G is like a compliment, like, hey, he's a dog. But you have
to say it's a dog. Not a dog. It's a dog.
Sound a little bit like Bill Self.
Oh, he's a dog. Doesn't that sound a little demeaning? He's a dog.
It's like a dachshund.
You know, but if you go, he's a dog.
He's a dog. He's a dog.
That guy's a dog.
He has been a dog over the last 4 games in the riding in the sidecar with Bryce Williams.
I'm going to be honest with you. I disagree. Nothing quiet about it. I've noticed it. I've noticed that he's been playing great basketball. I've noticed that he's been putting his shoulder down and getting to the basket more. Like, I know what you're saying. We give a lot of credit to Bryce and the alpha and everything like that, but Juwan Gary has played to the point where it's like, oh, he's clearly the number 2.
Well, I'll give you an example here. When I say that it's quiet, because at closing time, number 3 has been the main guy.
Yes.
But what do you think in the last 4 games? Because Juwan Gary is my pick to click tonight if Nebraska is to win this game. What do you think his numbers are over the last 4 games?
19.
Okay.
73.
Okay, so you probably glanced at something. He's 18 and then 6.3.
You act like I don't watch the games. Like I don't report on the team. Like I don't
listening
remember
to conversation earlier. I'm wondering.
Yes, I listen to you. You talk about the Summit League profusely off the air and how it's all about the Dakotas and the Summit League doesn't like the trash cans and how it's all about them and they don't
How
like
did this become an Omaha men's basketball conversation? We're talking about Nebraska basketball.
How much information I soak up in my head from working with you. Okay. So when you say guess these numbers and like look at this, yeah, I'm there because I'm working with you because this is how I have to act now. This is my life. It's always on being par with the incredible Gary Sharp sport knowledge. I've become a psycho.
18 points. How many people realize that he's at 18 and 6'3" over the last 4 games?
I mean, I did, but I agree with you. I don't think a lot of people would realize how good he's been playing. And I'm sure that if we went back, I mean, I would have to go back a couple of Google Docs ago, but I did do stats on what he was like when they were losing in those games, and he was not playing well. He was firmly under double digits in the games that they had lost. So yeah, when Juwan is you can make the case that yeah, Bryce is the alpha, but you could go as far to say that Juwan is the most important player on this team. I think
I would.
You know what?
That's
I'll
an
go.
Interesting argument.
I think that Juwan is the most important player on this team because when Bryce has had games, when they were on that 6-game losing streak, he was still scoring 16, 17 points a night. He was still being slightly productive, right? Like he was still putting up good numbers, but like Juwan was taking too many threes and he wasn't getting to the basket enough and he wasn't taking enough free throws. And you could, when we were talking about the lack of effort on rotations and closeouts, it was mainly Juwan Gary we were referring to. And so now that he's not doing that, and in this 4-game 4-game winning streak, what has happened? The absolute opposite. He's been playing aggressive. He's stopped taking as many 3-pointers. He's got into the basket. He's been great on defense. He's been clearing the boards, right? Was it 6 rebounds a game? I mean, that's great stuff. So when he's playing at his best, this team wins. And so that proves to me he's the most important player on this team.
Part of that, adding to what you just said, and I think this is how they win tonight, because Maryland can create havoc. They got 5 guys that score in double figures. Is part of what he's done is they're a smarter basketball team. You know, I've preached all year, they have bad basketball IQ. Why do guys dribble into a crowd? Slow rotations, bad communication, just plays that you go, man, you're not taught that. They're not teaching that in Lincoln. They have, he's kind of to your point of he's not shooting the 3 when they leave him unguarded, like a heat check to begin the game.
Yeah.
He puts the ball on the floor and gets to the rim and creates whatever he has to create, but more than likely he's going to get to the rim, get fouled, or get a lay-in. That's how they win tonight, is they're going to have to be a smart basketball team and play within the framework of who they are. That's all part of the transition, adding to your point about Juwan Gary, that I think is a credit to Fred Hoiberg. And if you look at, because basketball is good in the 402, Creighton, Omaha, and Nebraska have all had times this year where the head coach has taken over the team, and they have cut down on rotations. They also have given players identities on what they need them to do. And that's one of the things I think has helped with Hoiberg in this team in this 4-game winning streak. When they went on the 6-game siesta, is now guys play within the framework. Like Juwan Gary is playing the role that he played last year. He's not trying to be Casey, Rink Mass, Bryce Williams all at one time. He's trying to be Juwan Gary. And so they've become a smarter basketball team. But I think that's when you don't have a particular individual in your lineup, and you won't have him at all tonight. You have to be the smarter basketball team. That's how they win tonight. But Juwan Gary is kind of like the poster child of what they've done in this turnaround.
Oh, 1,000,000%. And like I said, I think he's the most important player on this team because when
I'm listening. I'm very much in tune with you.
His numbers, you go during this 4-game winning streak, these are his incredible numbers. What's the correlation? When he's got incredible numbers, they are winning basketball games. Also, too, and this is speculation, but this is kind of just the insight of how, because I've watched Fred Hoiberg coach even before he came to Nebraska coaching the Bulls. I think there was this belief, and Fred has always been a spacing guy, right? He's always wanted, four out, one in, or 5 out. Like, there's always been an emphasis on spacing, which is why the team last year was so good, because they had a multitude of guys who could space the floor, right? And let the offense run. Mm-hmm. I think there was this idea that, okay, Juwan, like, you're not a 3-point shooter, but like, out of what we have, you're like the third best. So you have to take these shots because we need spacing. Yeah. And I would like to preview a guess that during the 6-game skid, someone probably said to him, you know what? Screw the spacing. We don't need the spacing. We just need to play like with the most efficient brand of basketball that is into the strengths of our players. Your strength is not shooting threes. Your strength is going to the basket. Screw the spacing. Just work outside in and get to the hoop. And that's what he's been doing. And that's what's been a big catalyst of this turnover, is just his play and his change and the IQ going up. And I think another thing too is, like, Raleigh Wooster had this, like, there was this epidemic during that 6-game losing streak of him picking up his dribble and him going all the way down into the weak side low post and then turning around and picking up the dribble and getting trapped. And then, like, they would just be discombobulated and they would try and run a set. And by the time the set ended, there would be 5 seconds left on the shot clock. They couldn't properly reset if their set wasn't there. He's since stopped doing that, which is good. And that plays into the, having a higher basketball IQ during this run. And so, hey, nothing better than a team that can look themselves in the mirror, recognize the problems that they're having, and fix them. And that's the mark of a good coaching staff and a good culture. They've done it. I'm going to tell you right now, though, tonight's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
When we come back, we'll hand the oar to Baby Gronk's dad. Plus, it's time for somebody to retire.
Please don't.
You don't want the ultimate douche canoer?
That I will hand to Baby Gronk. I will actually personally take the ultimate douche canoer, put it in my car, drive it to wherever the hell Baby Gronk is. Maybe it's actually not too far from the Omaha metropolitan area. I will go up to the father. I will hit him in the head with the canoe. Then I will give him the pass.
He is pissy today. I love it.
I'm always pissy. I'm the Hulk. I'm always angry. It's just whether or not how you decide to get it out of me.
No wonder I liked you from day one.
Hey, we don't need to be angry about Alex Bregman. It's okay. Red Sox are going to have to put up with him.
I would never, ever pay him $40 million a year. Holy Lord.
With 2 opt-outs, which the Red Sox did.
Yeah, I saw that, but still, $40 million a year for a 270, 120 OPS plus hitter. Miss me on that, my man. Good for Bregs.
Here's to the pride of Indiana University, Matt Shaw. Our multi-year starting third baseman. Let the Matt Shaw era at third begin in Tokyo against the Dodgers.
On the scale of Luis Valbuena to Chris Bryant, where do you think we're going to land?
Okay. So there was Vance Law, there was Gary Scott, there was Ron Say, there was Santo.
Yeah.
There was Aramis Ramirez.
There's a Ramos. Good one. Atta boy.
Yes.
Now, I hope that he's closer to Javi than he is to Junior Lake on the Cubs prospect fan out meter. That's what I'm hoping.
All right. When we come back, someone in college basketball needs to retire, and they need to retire sooner than later. We'll get into that when we come back. It's Gary and Matt with Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
This basketball season, that's now when your favorite stars score buckets. We're alley-ooping you an opportunity to win money from watching sports with Underdog. You want to win up to 1,000 times your money? Well, you can with Underdog. To play, choose whether a player will go higher or lower on what other stats, points, assists, rebounds. They got all those. They even got turnovers. They've got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. You can create entries with all basketball picks or mix and match across other sports. And don't forget, it's not just pro basketball. You can do college basketball as well. This week on Underdog, I tried the Spurs last night, and I was one Wemby bucket away from a lot of money. I'm sticking with the NBA tonight. Maybe I'll dive in on some Nebraska and Turtle. We'll see. Download the Underdog app and sign up now using promo code ZONE to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on all the fun when you sign up with promo code ZONE. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon first deposit. Must be 19 plus in Nebraska and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
When I hear the heat has arrived, I advise my crew to lay low. But now that word heat has a whole different meaning. For a limited time, get my new Mike's Hot Honey Pepperoni Cheese Sticks. My abundantly topped cheese sticks covered in mozzarella and crispy cup pepperoni, finished with a drizzle of Mike's Extra Hot Honey. This combo of sweet and spicy is just the heat you're looking for. Add them to one of my deals. Order today. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
In school sports, it's easy to see the wins, the moments that make headlines. But there's so much work that goes unseen for any of it to happen. My name is Phil Risen, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Throughout the country, athletic administrators dedicate countless hours to making life-changing opportunities possible for student athletes through sports. Their sacrifice is fueled by the belief that every student can grow and deserves their time to shine. On behalf of the NIAAA, we want to thank every athletic administrator for your tireless dedication to providing 7.8 million students across the country a path to a better future.
This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
1620 The Zone at 1620thezone.com. Now back to Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Quick show here. I'm in the state of South Dakota. Jimmy and Matt back in Omaha, where there is snow on the ground. What do we get? 5 inches, 3.5 inches, something like that?
3.2 is the official at Epley.
All right. Mount McMaster. Do we know what the how many inches are plowed in our parking lot?
No. It really isn't that. Mount McMaster really isn't that big.
That's why he wanted to claim it. He figures the others wouldn't fight over a mountain with him. He could have his own snow mountain.
I'm going to be honest with you guys.
I got to look too.
I don't really know. Is it the one under the sign? Is that what Mount McMaster is? Okay. It's a beautiful mountain range. It's a mountain range. It's not a mountain.
It's the most beautiful mountain range.
Because it actually goes in a square, right? It goes around the sign. So there's actually multiple peaks. There's actually a couple of valleys. It's quite beautiful. Just reminds you a little bit. It has a bit of a Fiji, Mount Sinai type vibe with its cascading ranges. It's a little bit like the Appalachian Mountains.
About a foot, Sharpie. That's what long-winded way of saying it's about a foot. We've had bigger out there, but not bad.
I don't think
we're
it's
supposed to get a little
foot.
bit of snow.
I think it's about a foot and a half to close to 2 feet.
Rule of 3.
Okay.
Foot and a half to close to 2 feet.
It's supposed to get a little more snow Saturday, more snow Monday.
It's a beautiful mountain range on Mount McMaster.
Do you know what would tick off the midday and afternoon guys is if you made a sign and claimed it.
Okay.
Do it.
So
I think
we have stuff.
you have something up your sleeve. Nice.
This is already planned.
You don't have to give away secrets because I don't want them to have a counter move.
Yeah. Boys, listen.
I already have a plan.
All right. I have a plan here that probably will not be a popular idea, but because of all the stuff with Creighton and UConn yesterday and Danny Hurley, which just blew up on the internet yesterday, we did not get to talk about halftime. I think we need to talk about the halftime at the Chai on Tuesday night.
Speaking about our coworkers.
Okay. Would you like me to start? Because we were both there. Would you like, I have a take or two. I'll let you lead. And I'll pepper in some paper to the fire because I think you and I are on the same page.
It's time.
Yeah.
I think as America, those of us that love college basketball and halftime performances, it's time that Red Panda retires. Her act is the same. She's been at it for a while. She's lost her fastball. Even Travis Kelce can't get open against man coverage, and he can only be successful against zone. I've seen her numerous times. Yes. I've seen Red Panda numerous times. She's an incredible athlete with an incredible skill and an amazing unicycle, but it's not the same. And there are younger generations that are coming up that now are get to experience Red Panda, and it is not the Red Panda that I grew up with.
It's not ours.
I think that she needs to retire and immediately go to the College Basketball Hall of Fame. I'm serious. She needs to be in the College Basketball Hall of Fame.
Okay, so number one,
and the pro basketball.
That is an absolutely ridiculous statement. Okay, she's a nice woman who does a nice act, but we don't need to be putting halftime acts in the College Basketball Hall of Fame. Okay,
that's what triggered you out.
Dick Vitale, Red Panda, College Basketball Hall of Fame, new wing.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Great gal, great legacy. Look, for years and years and years, I will be an old man, hopefully still on the radio, and I will talk about the days of Red Panda, okay? And I'm sure there will be some new
listen up, kids,
hip halftime show that everyone loves, and I'm like, all right, guys, this is great, but you don't know about Red Panda, okay? Like, you don't understand. Now, so not college Basketball Hall of Fame, but we are getting to the point of Ewing on the Magic, Scotty on the Rockets, Melo on
Shaq on the Celtics.
Shaq on the Celtics, Melo on the Lakers, Jordan on the Wizards.
The Rams.
We're Robert Parrish on the Bulls. We're getting to that point with our dearly beloved Allen Iverson on the Denver Nuggets, also known as Red Panda.
They made the playoffs in 2007, had a good little run with AI. So that tells me Red Panda still got some in the gun.
She's Randy Johnson on the Dodgers.
Damn.
Like even the fastball.
That's a great pull.
Sans mullet.
I mean, like we are because the thing about Randy toward the end was all right. I mean, like he can't throw any off speed anymore, but man, like that fastball's still buzzing. He got to the Dodgers. It was very clear that wasn't the case anymore. We're at that point. Maybe if we did like you know what? I wouldn't put her in the College Basketball Hall of Fame, but I would have like her own separate one shining moment CBS Sports vignette that we can play for her. It's over.
Sometimes people get to the end, Jimmy. It
And
happens.
It
happens.
We're in such a high. Connor was he was the Kobe to her Shaq, and now she's retired.
He was not the Kobe to her Shaq.
Damn.
He was more like the Spencer Dinwiddie to her Kyle Kuzma. Wow. I mean, that was.
And you're taking his mountain.
And it's not.
People are
mountain.
triggered on the
It's
stream.
my mountain.
I will listen to the crossover today.
We already talked about it yesterday, and I don't know why, like how he's he seceded. He said, "Okay, like you can have it," and then he started calling it Mount Happer again. It's Mount McMaster. Hey, a statement will be made today.
I like it. I like this gumption, but you need to buy into more of my idea. Red Panda should be in the College Basketball Hall of Fame, but we're at the end of Red Panda. She costs a lot of money. She's not like she was. I'm sorry. It doesn't have the same zing. She's dropping more bulls. She's doing the same act.
Until
I have in the 90s. She bounced right back. Kept going.
I've never seen her drop a bowl until the Creighton game. Now, here's the thing. A little inside baseball. You may know.
Mm-hmm.
How much does she cost?
It depends on the venue.
Okay,
she is because there are people that will buy tickets. She has reached that level that will buy tickets because she's announced as halftime. So she's extremely popular. In the industry, her fee is near the top.
Okay. Does she get a little bit off the gate? Does she take it?
No.
Off
It's
the top?
it's a straight contracted fee.
Okay.
No, but it depends on. It's a little bit of the venue, and maybe the average crowd that you get for a game.
So it's got to be now. I feel like if I were her, I would charge more for a smaller venue than a bigger venue.
They usually probably don't have as big a budget.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's time. She didn't look good.
It's time, and maybe her last appearance in Omaha was Tuesday night, and if it was, we have many memories. She's an incredible athlete that there really is no heir apparent. There's no like little panda that's been working with her.
Hey, it's a lonely place at the top of the unicycle.
My heroes are all retiring. It's just heartbreaking.
It's time. And when she speaks to the College Basketball Hall of Fame and Greg Popovich breaks into tears, you'll understand her impact on the game.
That is
she needs her own wing at Allen.
You've ever said.
Rules basketball, Red Panda.
She's not going to get. She should not put a halftime act in the College Basketball Hall of Fame.
Would you put Dick Vitale as an announcer in the College Basketball Hall of Fame?
That's a journalist. Dick Vitale is a journalist.
I'd use that.
Dick Vitale.
He's an entertainer. She's an entertainer.
No, Dick Vitale was an
ringing.
instrumental journalist and broadcaster in some of the biggest games in college basketball history. Some of the biggest moments that have ever happened, okay, have been synonymous with his reactions and his calls, okay? He is not equal to a woman who gets on a unicycle and balances bulls on the top of her head, okay? No offense to Red Panda, but let's call a spade, okay? It was a nice act. She made a good dollar. Like, great for her. We'll never forget it. She can now pedal off into the sunset.
Do you think that she, on her last performance, she leaves the unicycle in the middle of the floor?
Like she's a wrestler?
Like a wrestler does, which is one of the great traditions. When they retire, they leave their shoes in the middle of the mat.
Or the UFC fighter who leaves the gloves in the middle of the octagon just for them to pick them back up and then like run them off to the locker.
We had a caller ask if y'all remember Marshawn Lynch with Red Panda.
Really? That doesn't surprise me. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
I'm hoping this is referring to like an act they had together and not a moment.
Yes. Not that act. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know that someone told Happer that they thought they were going to bring an actual Red Panda out into the middle of the basketball court? That they didn't know that Red Panda was a unicycling elderly woman who puts bowls on top of her head. They were just going to bring out an endangered Red Panda out into the half court.
And the actual Red Panda would perform flipping bowls?
I don't know. I don't know.
I would sign up for that. I would follow that act around the country.
What do you like? You weren't here for the crossover. My idea was that we just do a petting zoo in the middle of half court.
Or work.
You know, bring out a llama and a goat, maybe a giraffe, a koala. You know, we just put them all, and then we have everyone line up, and they walk around and they pet, and then we clean up everything on the floor, and then we play basketball.
Does he know that you try to get a penguin in studio?
Yes. But he also, this is a good point because I'm headed to Brookings. So Brookings has, they have different kind of days. Like they have pork day. They have cow bingo where, you know, they bring out a cow and what number the cow takes a dump on. So I've done games at South Dakota State where they have had, they've had a pig.
Cow
had a
bingo?
Cow bingo.
That's crazy.
It's where the cow takes a dump on that number, you win.
But that's in like a fair. That's not in a basketball game.
No, they've done it in a basketball arena before.
Like he takes a crap on the floor?
Well, they have the floor covered.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
Like
do
they
it with
like
humans,
like
too.
a big day. Like they have really cool like days up here. Like they have Hobo Day. They have
Yeah, that sounds thrilling.
well, it's you know it's centered towards South Dakota State. And they have
Obviously.
it's not called Pig Day, but it's something else that
Swine
they bring out a pig onto the floor during halftime, and I think they auction them off.
We need this at Baxter.
Wait.
Let's go.
Whoa.
Hold on here.
They're
I gotta.
selling pigs at halftime. at a
Nice
South
pig,
Dakota
Doc.
State.
Yeah, I
pig?
gotta look what it's called. It's a huge deal. They raise a lot of money. Let me look.
How much?
here.
What's the most you've seen a pig go for at a
Well,
basketball?
I haven't. You know, you don't pay full attention.
So
So
Tracy
it is
says
called.
Hobo Day is fun. Tracy, what is Hobo Day?
It's
so,
fun.
so it's the Port Classic. They had it in January here, but they've had it a couple times when Omaha's played here. The Port Classic. So this is what officially happens. Is well, it doesn't go into detail here, but they auction off a pig.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good for one pig, one singular pig.
One singular pig. It's
Oh, it's not-
like the school, like the I don't know. It's a long
noble
story.
steed.
What is tonight? Tonight is Military Appreciation Night.
No, that'll be fun.
Yeah, but Hobo Day is a big deal here during the fall for football.
So what is Hobo Day?
It's kind of so it's like I think it's like it's not homecoming, but they bring.
I hope it's not.
They
I hope it's not homecoming.
well,
Everybody dressed like a hobo.
no, you know what? So here, I do think that's what they call homecoming here is Hobo Day.
Okay.
At South Dakota State, Hobo Day is homecoming. So
Look, I'm uncultured. I'm not trying to make jokes with people at the South Dakota State. Don't come at me. But Hobo Day would be a wild thing to call your homecoming.
no, it's like a huge deal. They have like unique traditions, but it's like alumni from all over come back, and it's Hobo Day.
Yeah. I'm sure. It
Yeah.
sounds like a blast.
Yeah, they
If
don't
it's
name
like-
it homecoming; they name it Hobo Day.
Okay. Well, good for them. Good for South Dakota State and their very many traditions. Selling pigs and having crapping cows and hoboing around, you know?
It's very much on brand.
Go Jackrabbits.
Yes.
Or before you leave.
Oh boy. There you go.
Go Mavs.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Thank you.
In the flesh, for those listening, I took off my hoodie. I have a Omaha Mavericks quarter zip on to support my guy Gary Sharp and his boys tonight. Matt McMavsker is what they've been calling me as of late.
Because I want to get into this, I'm going to hang with another segment. I think I can buy some time here.
Okay, cool.
Because I want to talk about branding. We tease Baby Gronk, who is in Lincoln and has appeared with Nebraska's quarterback. Everything's about branding. We're touching on that. When we come back after the top of the break. We'll do that in the next segment.
Let's do it.
Before we're off to a big weekend for Omaha men's basketball.
Okay. Beautiful. Love it. I love talking about people I don't like. One of my favorite things. One of my favorite pastimes is having long conversations about people I can't stand.
That I did not think I'd hear today.
We're going to have a good time.
We'll do that.
We already are.
And hopefully Crutch doesn't get too mad at me for holding on to his announcer for too long.
That's fine. Here, I'm looking more through the promotional schedule. Yeah, most of it's normal. I missed the Pork Classic.
I got to go for the Pork Classic. I'd buy that pig, slaughter it, have a nice little roast.
They raised like a lot of money. One year, I think it got to like $3,000 or $4,000.
Wow.
But they bring out the pig. They bring out a little tractor, and it is pulling the pig is in the crate, and it comes out on the floor, and it makes a circle around the floor so everybody in the arena can see it, and then they start bidding on it. And I'm pretty sure the money goes to the college.
The
veterinary school or the egg school.
There are little boys in Sioux Falls who go to those South Dakota State games who say, you know what, one day I'm going to buy that pig.
That would be me in college. That was him in college.
To rock around, it's round time, it's tricky.
It's Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Plumrite Time-Saving Traffic Center. An accident Highway 133 northbound at the Kennard Cutoff has that area closed right now. Another accident is off to the right shoulder of 680 northbound at Dodge. Some heavy traffic delays showing up JFK northbound between Childs and I-80. And that morning Dodge eastbound traffic building up between 180th and 137th. Please be safe and wear that seatbelt. I'm Peter Krenzer. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Plumrite.
Get your drains flowing. $63 or it's free drain opening. If our drain tech isn't on site within 63 minutes or less, you don't pay a penny. Limited availability, so don't wait. Get it done right. Call Plumrite.
Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is your home for the big game. We're in the middle of the best time of the year of basketball season, with meaningful games every night, with 40 TVs and massive dual projectors. The games have never looked better. Pair that with their award-winning char-buffed wings and $7.99 Monday through Friday lunch specials. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill has everything you need. 173rd and West Center Road, and for takeout, 162nd and Maple.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down. Get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
We can be twinsies.
To
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Do you like to shoot fireworks? Would you like to get paid to shoot fireworks? J&M Displays wants you. Help shoot an Omaha Storm Chasers game, Memorial Park display, or any of the major shows in western Iowa and all of Nebraska. If you like to travel, J&M covers Nebraska, Kansas, and most of Missouri. They offer free training and great daily pay rates, which makes it a perfect part-time job. Visit jnmdisplays.com and click the Join Our Team tab to find out more. J&M Fireworks.
Omaha Maverick Hockey hits the road as they head to Kalamazoo to take on Western Michigan this weekend. You can listen to the games on News Talk 1290 Coil. It's UNO at Western Michigan on your home for Maverick Hockey. News Talk 1290 Coil.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone. Now, back to Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back in hour number 3. We are teaching Matt about Port Classic in Brookings.
Yes.
Greg Hastings called earlier. He's familiar with Hobo Days as a former football player at the University of Nebraska, Omaha. He remembers having liquor bottles thrown at him on the sideline as they were getting beat by the Jackrabbits.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
He says hello and he's off to work.
Nothing screams college memories to me like when Nebraska was losing and students just started throwing the fireball shooters at each other out of pure frustration.
I told him it sounded a lot like Columbia, Missouri. Empty liquor bottles being thrown at you, tires being slashed.
Your hate for in Kansas City and just that area.
I don't
is
hate
incredible.
Kansas City.
I think you hate
I don't.
Kansas City.
We lived there for 10 years.
You hate Kansas City.
Happer had a
you
cute
don't
39 shirt the other day,
the-
and I wanted to
You don't
hug
like
him.
the Chiefs. You don't like the Missouri Tigers.
I
You're
mean,
just
this is true.
You're just a hater. Just a hater.
I
of
love
Kansas
barbecue
City,
and I like the
Kansas and
Royals.
Missouri. No, you're a hater.
And I love Boulevard beer.
No, you're a hater.
He just doesn't like
Oh,
Mizzou.
yes, I'm a hater. Yeah.
He's a hater.
By the way, Mizzou basketball might be back. They're 16-1 at home. Porter Mosier is playing himself out of the future Creighton head coaching job.
It's a great shot from you, Porter. He very well may be.
Porter Mosier at Oklahoma. Somehow they get to January and they struggle, but they got beat last night in Columbia.
Porter Moser is a lot of fans in the Chicagoland area about Porter Moser. I've always been curious if he was ever in contention for jobs in that area of the country, but he went to Oklahoma. Even though as an Oklahoma guy, he was still recruiting heavily in Illinois and Chicago.
Well, and you look at he got a lottery pick out of Chicago in Fierce.
Yeah.
But it hasn't. They're on the struggle bus a bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've been teasing this, and I want to bring it up. So no one knows why Baby Gronk has been in Lincoln for the last couple of days. Hand his dad or he's at the front of the douche canoe, but somehow this kid who has this brand, and I don't know what the appeal is.
Let's be real here. This guy hasn't accomplished anything. All right, he hasn't done
he
nothing.
hasn't.
What he is he's a clown meme social media superstar who's been cultivated by his father, who's an even bigger clown and an even bigger douche. And I feel bad for the kid because everyone who's my age who looks at him thinks he's a joke. And he's just a kid. And it's the reason why he thinks he's a joke is because his dad is parading him around like some sort of mascot. And it's absolutely disgusting. And yet we as a society play into it.
I think though that I think we are pushing. I think we are pushing back. I'm not on Snapchat.
So on Snapchat, there are these public stories, these stories for like celebrities, right? And I see Baby Gronk on these public stories every single day. And the same picture, it's the same type of picture. It's Baby Gronk pictured with like women and him pulling up his shirt. And in his shirt is edited abs. They edit the abs onto Baby Gronk. So it's
how old is he?
It's an adolescent kid showing off his abs, taking pictures with like older girls. It's like this dad's dream. Like this dad's like is a horn dog, and he's using his son as like a weird symbol.
Who that family has made quite a bit of money. So with that said, how do you feel about your QB1 going to a hotel in Lincoln to do an appearance with Baby Gronk and then to go and throw footballs outside with Baby Gronk in Lincoln? Because that's what happened yesterday.
His dad, I'm looking at his last Snapchat story is him at a Hooters taking pictures with the Hooters waitresses.
We all
and
have.
Showing off his grill and all of his jewelry. Look, how do I feel about my quarterback doing that?
Okay, so two big brands, right? Two brands.
Baby Gronk is a clown. And Dylan Raiola, to the national eye and to people on social media, is
considered the same thing, Matt.
Is considered the same thing. Is considered the same thing with the whole Patrick Mahomes doppelganger, looking with the Pit Vipers, same haircut, same facial hair. People make jokes about Dylan Raiola. Barstool Sports made a joke about Dylan Raiola when Patrick Mahomes wasn't playing well. So if we're talking about brands, Baby Gronk is a clown, and Dylan Raiola, who gets clowned on social media, hanging out with a clown, makes him look like even more of a clown.
So let me ask you about this. And we're on about a 2-week run of Dylan is everywhere. And I'm wondering why associate? Like, was there an NIL? Was there a paid? Hey, we're both into the brand. We're both into our social media. We're both into our views. They have a picture on Twitter, Baby Gronk's Twitter, his picture of Dylan yesterday, 641,000 views. Is there money exchanged? Hey, you come take a picture with me. I'll take a picture with you. We'll get a little bit of money here. We'll get some looks. We'll both help our brands.
Look, I
don't know why he has to go do that. I know he likes the camera. I know he likes the camera, but
he doesn't have to do. Let's be real here. This Dylan Raiola doesn't need to do anything. The guy is an NFL talent. He's on his way to being a first-round draft pick. He's the quarterback of a massive brand in Nebraska. He already is the second most important person in the state after his head coach. Okay? He's got plenty of eyes on him already. He's got plenty of NIL money already. This whole tour of him going around to high school basketball games to see his friends play, you know what? Cool. Get him around the state, get him more interactive with people, get him. He's not from here. It's good when a person like that is interacting with the community. I have no problem with it, just as long as it, doesn't become a talking point when they're losing games, if they are losing games in the fall.
So that's the point. Because in this state, we have, you have to adjust. Everybody is a brand now. I mean, we're a brand. You're always working on your brand. You're trying to build your brand. Student athletes have a brand. They build a brand. They have gear. They have NIL. They get paid now. You go to a place where you can walk around and you wear T-shirts that say, "We pay players." Yeah. So, but I still think there is a section that has trouble with this, because look at Kenny Bell. Kenny Bell, probably to this day before Dylan showed up, was the first student athlete inside of the 402 that was a brand. Like, Kenny had a brand and he built that brand. Okay. And he worked that brand, and that brand still works for him, in the different places that he has worked. And now he's back in Nebraska. And then Dylan comes along, where Dylan got into that world before he ever stepped foot on campus in Lincoln. And I think we're still uncomfortable with that, even though we everybody's got to make their money and they all got brands. They just go about it a different way. Some like to build their brand without the camera always finding them, or them finding the camera. So it's that transition, but you know what this is. And we've talked about this now for a couple of weeks, and don't overlook the fact that his head football coach subtly dropped in there leadership and doing the right thing and getting in shape and all that kind of stuff, because Nebraska desperately needs him to be a guy that shows up on a breakout list, and not Moore from Oregon, Underwood from Michigan, Sayin from Ohio State, those kind of quarterbacks that are looked at more highly in the Big Ten than a guy that is returning for his second year. If you get where I'm going, but you know how this sets up, and I'm all for people making money and doing the hustle, but you're here to play football. So does your brand help your football when normally it's your football that helps your brand? And if Dylan is what Nebraska needs him to be, and I think still can be and will be, then he'll be the most popular student athlete ever in the state of Nebraska, more than anybody that played in the 90s. But there's the left hand, there's the right hand. But if you struggle, and Nebraska struggles in 2025, you will be run out of this state by negative conversation, and things will come back to why on the 12th of February did you go to a hotel in downtown Lincoln to get a picture with this kid and then go outside and throw passes, to get clicks on Instagram, to get clicks on Twitter?
I'm trying to choose the
He
right.
looks like a coach who's burned
I'm
out.
trying to choose the right words here. I'm all for building a brand, but I need more Heisman watch list articles about Dylan Raiola and less Barstool Sport articles about Dylan Raiola.
It's a great point.
If you know where I'm going, okay? And I'm all for getting out there and being a part of the community and showing your face and embracing the fact that you are the Nebraska quarterback, because you know what? That's something that some people have shied away from, okay? I'm not for affiliating yourself with jokes on the internet.
Yeah, this particular one is a bad look.
Bad look. It's a bad look.
It's a bad look, and it doesn't make sense unless you were getting paid.
I thought it was a little bit, even I thought to myself, like, am I grilling him a little bit too much going to these high school basketball games while you're trying to prep for a really important spring, which will lead into a very important summer, which leads into the most important fall in Matt Rule's tender? Like, am I hammering him too much for that? And I think I was pretty fair on it. I think I'm fair on this. It's embarrassing. Baby Gronk is a online embarrassment. I don't know anyone my age or anyone who goes to the school who thinks Baby Gronk is cool, who thinks that this 13-year-old who's being paraded around by his father and being exposed and just doing these weird things is a cool thing that you're a fan of. If anything, he's a joke. And Dylan Raiola is already a guy, now I don't agree with him getting made fun of for being a Patrick Mahomes doppelganger, but there are people who, heck, I was on the radio in Chicago, and this was something that we talked about. Like, this was something that was brought up in Chicago radio, and like a non-college football town radio station was talking about the Nebraska quarterback being a little bit too much like Patrick Mahomes. Like, people make fun of him about that. And now to put yourself and align yourself with this guy, with Baby Gronk, with this kid and his idiot father is just not a positive thing you want to be doing. Mm-hmm. So, and even if there was money involved in him getting paid to throw around or take a video with Baby Gronk, I'm sorry, if I'm Matt Rule, I'll go, Dylan, we'll glad you pay you the extra NIL money that you might have made with Baby Gronk to not affiliate yourself with a 13-year-old kid whose dad is taking him to a Hooters to take pictures with their waitresses who are dressed scantily clad.
They are? Oh.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it was a bad, that associating yourself with that individual is a bad look.
Hey, Dylan's into the trends. Dylan's a trend guy. Whatever the trend, he's not a trend setter, but he'll follow the trends.
He's smart. It's a corporation. There's a corporation playing football at Nebraska. We've never had that before.
Sure, but this is not one. And I'm mad about it just because I like Dylan Raiola, and I don't like the hate that he gets, and I don't like the fact that during the Super Bowl he was trending, and I don't like the fact that Nebraska, my college, gets roped in to those jokes. I'm not a fan of that. And so I get upset when he affiliates himself with idiots like Baby Gronk, because that's more hate for my quarterback and that's more hate for my school. And I don't like to see that.
People have reaction. Matt and Jimmy will touch on that. Sarah Baker Hansen is going to stop by at 9. Brian Edwards as well here on Gary and Matt. You guys enjoy, stay warm.
Good call tonight.
We're off.
You got I can't even like happily say goodbye to you. You got my blood is boiling right now.
So now I got to deal with it.
I hope you have a great call tonight, Mr. Gary Sharp.
Thank you. It's a big weekend. South Dakota State tonight and St. Thomas on Saturday. Have a great rest of the show and tomorrow, and we'll all be together again on Monday.
Can't wait to hold hands and sing Kumbaya.
Which on Monday will be 4 weeks. Sunday is 4 weeks to Selection Sunday.
That's awesome. Getting all giddy.
Don't mess it up.
Just not Josh giddy.
Gary, Matt with Jimmy. We're back with more after this on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
I text Ashworth weekly, maybe a couple times a week. Isaac Trout, anytime he has a multiple three-point game, I message him on Instagram. Calc I stay away from. He just, even though he's a gentle giant, he just scares me. The wingspan, I feel like he could hit me from far away. Have you heard about my new nickname for Stephen Ashworth? He hates it.
I have not.
Boss baby.
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7.
Cold weather advisory to start Thursday with wind chill values 15 to 25 below zero early on. We will see plenty of sunshine throughout the day. South breeze picks up in the afternoon. Cold with highs in the upper teens. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Visit Saul's Jewelry and Loan today for all your engraving needs.
1620, The Zone. Traffic.
From the Plumbright Time-Saving Traffic Center. A couple new accidents to update you on, one at 114th and Fort, another 480 northbound at I-80 off to the left shoulder. Some other delays, heavy traffic dodge eastbound between 192nd and 120th, as well as JFK northbound between Cornhusker and I-80, and I-80 seeing delays both directions eastbound from Giles to 72nd and westbound from 42nd to 72nd. Please stay safe and wear that seatbelt. I'm Peter Krenzer. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Fulling Warehouse.
Nothing to do in Omaha? Not anymore. Introducing you to the Fulling Warehouse, where football meets bowling. 2 blocks north of 90th and 4th. 30 Fulling lanes, 2 full bars, perfect for any occasion. Bowling with a football. Check them out, fullingomaha.com.
Velocity Clinical Research in Omaha conducts clinical trials for investigational treatments and research. Typical studies involve medications for high cholesterol, diabetes, and adult obesity. Some current studies include RSV and bird flu prevention. Studies are medically supervised and do not require insurance. Velocity recognizes your time is valuable, so they offer compensation for study-related time and travel. Participating in a clinical trial leads to discovery of new meds that lead to better health for everyone. Find out more at velocityclinicaltrials.com.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Don't sacrifice a great experience for a great deal. Unlike other prepaid providers that stick you with price hikes, U.S. Cellular Prepaid has no hidden fees. And right now, you can get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes. Feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
This basketball season, when your favorite stars score buckets, we're alley-ooping you an opportunity to win money from watching sports with Underdog. Do you want to win up to 1,000 times your money? You can with Underdog. To play, choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats, like points, assists, rebounds, and more. They've got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. This week on Underdog, I'm looking at the NBA. Hey, football's over. It's time to start making some money on basketball, and I did over the weekend, and you can too. Download the Underdog app. Sign up now using promo code ZONE to unlock a special offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code ZONE. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon first deposit. Must be 19 plus in Nebraska and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Now, back to Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Listen to Gary and Matt here on 1620 The Zone. Mr. Sharp is on the road in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, as the Omaha Mavericks basketball team look to make it 4 wins in a row when they take on the Jackrabbits. Massive game in the Summit League. Jackrabbits 11-0 at home, 9.5-point favorite.
Or we've learned this morning they give out a pig.
Going to be massive for the Mavericks. If they can go 1-1 during this stretch against 2 of the top teams, the other top teams in the Summit League, it would be massive for them. They'll play St. Thomas later in the week as well, so should be a really good matchup. You know, one of the best stories in Nebraska sports. You can argue the best story in Nebraska sports has been
it's what we have.
The Mavericks' run into trying to make their first ever NCAA tournament. Black, red, and blue Nebraska all firmly in the bracket picture right now. Creighton has one hell of an opportunity to not only, I mean, they're in, but to raise their resume and get a better matchup in the NCAA tournament and even win the Big East when they take on St. John's on Sunday at the Garden. St. John's dropped one yesterday in a bad game. Like,
bad as in they played bad, or it's just a bad game to watch?
No, I mean, it was hard to watch St. John's. It wasn't hard to watch Villanova. Villanova did exactly what they needed to do. They milked the clock. They hit their shots. I think they were over 54% from the field. Like, they St. John's in a certain way, which was interesting to watch. And I bet Pitino was absolutely PO'd. I didn't watch the press conference.
I'm sure they'll have a nice practice today.
Oh, I think
they'll have a spirited, fun practice.
I think it'll be a you don't want to run during the game? Fine. Yeah. We'll run now.
The AT is
everyone
going
in
to
the
be
line.
busy.
That one. No, tough game from St. John's. So Villanova gives Creighton a gift because I think we all just kind of assumed St. John's was just going to beat everybody who wasn't UConn, Marquette, and Creighton for the rest of the way in the Big East for how they've looked. I mean, hell, they're the number 9 team in the country right now. But Villanova gives Creighton a gift, an opportunity to take first place in the Big East on Sunday. That'll be a massive game. Huskers will play Northwestern on Sunday.
The McMaster Classic.
A McMaster
Damn,
Classic is
what
they're
game to
calling
watch
it.
with
But
you.
before that, they'll play Maryland tonight in a massive game. I still think, let me look on the CBS Sports app. If I had to...
This is a road game Sunday, right?
It's a road game,
Okay.
yes. It is at, which sucks. I'm going home next week.
Couple weeks?
No, next
Oh, it's next weekend?
And I was hoping that, I mean, I was thinking about doing this weekend, but whatever. I kind of wish they played the Sunday game next weekend. Doesn't matter. Nebraska's go -1.5 point favorite. We'll get to that later in the show. Sarah Baker Hansen will be here at 9:00. Steve Sipple typically comes on Thursdays.
Yeah, we're trying to remedy getting him back on at a different time.
Okay.
So he and I are playing phone tag.
Okay, we'll
figure
figure that out.
set
We
up.
may or may not have on Sipple today, but hopefully we have him on next week. We just have to accommodate his new schedule. And then we will have the always impeccable Brian Edwards on at 9:45. Going to be interesting. I haven't done picks with Brian that isn't football, but Brian has been on a heater in terms of NBA games and college basketball as well. So we'll get his picks. I'm sure he might sprinkle in a couple, maybe a Daytona pick. I mean, you have the Daytona 500. NASCAR is fully informed. We're good for the next couple of weeks. Like, we're not in the dead period yet of sports, which is nice. We're slowly getting there without football. I mean, it's going to be a tough Sunday, not waking up and knowing your team is going to be
When
playing.
you look outside right now, you wish there was football.
Roads are clear.
Well, I mean, they're clear. I'm just saying it's cold, and your mountain is still there.
Speaking about football, I want to continue this conversation about. I want to continue a couple.
Yeah, you're angry, and I smell what you're cooking.
Well,
I get it.
I think that let's talk about Matt Rule
Oh, okay.
because I've said
He didn't take pictures of baby Gronk.
no.
did- Oh,
he didn't.
phew.
Jeez, the internet would fall apart
Just
if
see,
that were
just
to
see,
happen,
yeah.
and I would even be more PO'd if he took a picture with baby Gronk. And I just want to throw it out there. I got nothing against the kid. I just hate the dad who's paraded the kid out there and put him out there and exposed him to the internet for all of these people to make fun of him. I think it's
And this little dude was in Lincoln. Why?
wildly irresponsible. I don't know.
I bet he's at the game tonight.
No.
Yeah. Doesn't Dylan have front row seats or something? Watch, that's the next thing.
No,
yes.
Jimmy.
Being that it's you and me tomorrow, I almost kind of want to see this just so I can sit here and bask in it and be here for you to support you. And because I agree with you. You made a great point. You want him in more Heisman Watch articles, not Barstool.
He would be on the front page of Barstool. He would be the top story.
Oh,
He
he'd be
would
trending
He
tonight.
would be the top meme.
People would be
in
turning to
college
this
football.
Nebraska-Maryland basketball game just to see this spectacle.
Dylan Raiola by no stretch of the imagination is unlikable. I don't think he's unlikable. I think just people clown him
personally
for
seems great. Like they
for
all
the
do.
Patrick Mahomes comparisons. Like that's what he gets made fun of, but he really hasn't done anything wild yet or like wrong to get a lot of hate.
No, he's a really good kid.
I think if he were to go to the Nebraska basketball game tonight
With
with
Baby
Baby
Gronk.
Gronk,
Yeah.
that would probably be I think people would start to have a negative connotation.
He might have to go for the Mike Eckler haircut next week just to kind of
So-
get that out of the. I'm talking about the college Mike Eckler.
I was about to say.
If you know, you know.
Now, let's talk about Matt Rule. So I've said on this show multiple times that the time for talk is over, and it's all about what they're going to do in August. And there's really what Nebraska has done, what this athletic department has done for this football program is fully invest in what Matt Rule wants and in his vision. And what I mean by that is they've hired the coaches. They paid, a pretty dollar for Dana Holgorsen. Now, granted, they get a little bit of a discount because of his, previous deal with Houston. But they coughed up money for Dana Holgorsen. They coughed up money for John Butler. They coughed up money for Mike Eckler. They went out and they paid $500,000 to buy out Nikhil Shorts, Holgorsen's right-hand man, and then pay him an additional salary. They have pulled out all the stops in order to get a way more experienced and way more veteran and way more weathered coaching staff for Matt Rule to give him the best opportunity to have success in the regular season, because that's what he's missing. And I think that for me, the most important hire of this entire cycle was the last one, getting Mike Eckler. And the reason why I say that is because
Not Dana.
no.
Okay.
And I'll get to that in a minute. And the reason why it's Eckler is because we're talking about a team. What was last year's motto? Chasing three, right? You have to chase three. We're winning. We're going to be in close games. We're playing in a tough conference. They don't have, Matt Rule's done a good job in getting athletes and has been a pretty good evaluator and recruiter of talent, but they're still not at the level of getting dudes like your Michigans, like your Ohio States, like your Notre Dames, like your Georgias, like your top programs. But they've done a good job of getting talent. But they're chasing three, and they're in close games. And you can go back already in the Matt Rule tenure and be like, this special teams mistake cost them a game. This special teams mistake cost them a game. They didn't play good special teams in this game, which swung this game, right? Like they lost the Iowa game at the end of the year because of special teams. They lost the Illinois game because of special teams. I'm not going to say that they lost the Colorado game 2 years ago because of special teams, because, that game was a blowout and there was more than just special teams that went in there. But their poor punting and their poor kick coverage definitely did swing momentum in that Colorado game towards the Buffalo side, which did help them spring into a blowout. So there have already been games in Matt Rule's tenure where special teams has been literally decided results of games. And so yesterday, Gary pointed out that 24/7 has projected Nebraska to be 7-5. Okay. And I see Fong Wei's comment. How hot does his seat get
Good morning, Fong.
if they go 6-6? Fong, his hot. The seat doesn't get hot. If Nebraska goes 6-6, Matt Rule should be fired. Okay, with how much money they've invested, not only.
Wait, you're saying if they go 6-6 this year, they should
6-6,
fire him?
Yes, done. Yes. They've invested so much money in this roster. They've invested so much money in this coaching staff. We're at the point where it's year 3 Matt Rule. What have we been told about Matt Rule? We've been told year 1 is where they struggle. Year 2 is where they take a step. And year 3 is when they start to win games, is when the hay starts to come home to the cattle, right? That's when the results start to pile up, is in year 3. So if you go 5-7, 7-6, and 6-6, that's not results. That's not what you signed up for. Now, if they were to go 7-5, I think there would need to be a full audit of what's going on in that football department. Right?
I can get behind you on that one, and even at 6-6, but firing is that's a slippery slope.
If they go 6-6 this year,
who's hiring?
Matt Rule.
What's the plan?
Wait. If they go 6-6 this year, Matt Rule is one of three things, or maybe multiple of those three things. He's not a good of an evaluator of talent as we thought. He's not as good of a developer of talent as we thought, or he's a worse game manager than we thought. And if one of those three things, or multiple of those three things, tend to be the truth, which, by the way, their schedule was not that difficult this year. So for them to go 6-6, they would have some pretty terrible losses.
Which gets added into the conversation.
Gets added into that conversation.
Because they lost to somebody
He's
bad.
no longer worth the contract you're paying him. And so if he's no longer worth the contract that you're paying him, he no longer should be the coach of Nebraska football. I don't think that's a bad hot take. If they go 6-6 in his third year, he should be gone. If they go 7-5, that's a full audit. If they go 8-4, then you're fine. Then you're chilling. And that's what football comes down to, right? The difference, 2 is not a big number. Okay, 2 is a small number. But the difference between 6-6 and 8-4 is massive. And if they had good special teams, they would be 8-4 this year. Because they would have won, more than likely, the Illinois game. And they would have won, more than likely, the Iowa game. And so that's why I'm saying Eckler, in my opinion, is a more important hire than Dana, because he is in charge of the unit that gets that 3, that does change that mark, that makes you going from 128th in special teams efficiency over the last couple of years to one of the best in the country, which Tennessee has been under Eckler. That's the guy who's coaching at a high level on a unit that switches victory.
So if you put Crash Eckler last year with Satterfield calling plays, you think they finish 8-4?
I think that if the special teams
no
is
moves
better,
made on offense, just special teams.
If the special teams is better against Illinois, they more than likely win that game.
Agree.
And if the special teams is better against Iowa, they probably don't even they run away from that ball. Maybe they just catch that ball, and Iowa doesn't get the ball within the 10-yard line and end up scoring.
Okay.
That's the difference, right? The difference in these games and the difference in records have come down to special teams. You've now hired a special teams coach who's performed at the highest level possible, or one of the higher levels possible. And so that's why, and I get what people are saying. Dana's the most important hire because this defense, with the 3-3-5 and the talent that they have and the talent that they're returning has been solid. And the problem for the last 2 seasons has been the inconsistencies on offense. And so you're bringing in a head coach and an offensive coordinator, or a former head coach and an offensive coordinator whose offense looked a lot better, who's in Nebraska's offense looked a lot better when he was coaching. And I get that.
And
we look at the offense of like, oh my God, if the offense is better, you couple it with the defense, they're just going to win more games naturally. And I get that. And I understand that sentiment. But I'm telling you right now, Nebraska football does not have that cache of talent that the top teams in the Big Ten have, that almost every game that when you're not playing the ranked opponent is just going to be a cruise to victory. They are going to be in close games consistently like they have been for the last 2 years. And so when you've had a piss poor special teams that has caused you to lose games, and now you're bringing in a high level coordinator, that can be the difference between 8-4 and 6-6. And I think that's the difference between Matt Rule keeping his job and Matt Rule losing his job. If they were to go 6-6, I'm not, in my opinion.
I see what you're saying. So the opposite of what I asked you. So if you have Dana, but you have bad special teams, it doesn't matter because now you're turning over the ball, bad field position. You're putting yourself behind the 8 ball.
But I don't think that's the case, because in the games that we saw with Dana, he changed Dillon a bit, where there was an emphasis on getting the ball out. And there was an emphasis on, okay, the best way to get 4 to 6 yards on first down is not running it through our tackles and guards every single time. We can make quick throws to the outside to Jamal Banks. We can hit quick hitches to Isaiah Nair. We can do quick throws. It was a lot of, hey, first read, open, fire it. When Dillon was struggling with Satterfield, he was holding on to the ball for way too long, taking too many sacks, looking downfield, not taking the open guy right in front of him. Dana helped change that, and his coaching has helped progress Dillon and had him get better throughout
Opens
the year.
up the play calling at second and short, third and short.
Jimmy, I don't think you can tell me the minute Matt Rule was hired, there was this idea of year one, we're going to struggle, but we're going to build this culture and we're going to build this program. Year 2, you're going to see a step taken.
Right.
Okay. Both those things happen. Okay. Both those things happen. Year 1, the culture was built. Year 2, they took a step forward. They made a bowl game. Year 3 is when you have the Matt Rule success. And this athletic department has to realize the millions of dollars that they've not only invested into this coaching staff, but also the millions of dollars they've invested into this roster. They have invested so much time, so much money, so much resources, have pulled out from so many different places in order to make this program the most successful it possibly can be. And if Matt Rule were not to live up to the promise of having that year 3 jump and were to once again go 6-6, absolutely it is grounds to fire him. And if they were to go 7-5, you have to fully audit the program. And if you were to audit the program and look around, maybe you still get rid of him. But if you were to go 8-4, you'd be like, okay, maybe this isn't the jump that we were promised and we wanted, but you can't get rid of him because he won 8 games. So we're chasing 3. Who is the difference in that 3 points? What has been the difference in that 3 points for Nebraska? It's been the special teams. And who is now your new coordinator? You're paying a really pretty dollar to come in and do that. Mike Eckler. Right? And another thing too, this all circles back to Dylan because the same argument can be made for him. That, hey, you got what you need now. We got you the coordinator you want. Okay? You're getting coached by the guy that you want. We got you the wide receivers. We brought in Dane Key. We brought in Hardly Gilmore. We kept Emmett Johnson. We invested in on the offensive line. We've now taken the best athlete on the team who was your backup quarterback. We've now moved him to tight end. We now took Carter Nelson. We put him back into tight end. We've invested. We got Isaiah Hunter for you. Here you go, kid. Like, here are the keys. Like, if you are this 5-star future.
No, it's put up or shut up.
And it's put up or shut up.
Yeah.
And it is a little concerning to me that Dylan Raiola is clearly worried about his brand. And I think that's all fine and dandy. And that is the era of football we are in. Your brand is important. I'm all for people making money. I'm all for people lining their pockets. I'm all for people protecting their bag and protecting their chicken. I get it. But it cannot get in the way of football. And it cannot, I don't like it when it creates a negative connotation around you as an individual.
Well, you want your quarterback to be in the headlines for the right reasons. Look at my dude. Look at him.
There are plenty of other people on social media that Dylan Raiola has the pull to associate himself with that could bring a positive outlook. He has decided to align himself with a guy who is going to bring him and the program a negative outlook. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think I'm a fan of him going around Omaha and going around Nebraska.
Oh, yeah. Yesterday was wholesome. That was nice. He announced the school was canceled.
Yeah. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of him making friends with people in the community and supporting those people. I'm a fan of that just as long as it doesn't get in the way of the football. And it's put up or shut up time for Matt Rule. It's put up or shut up time for Dylan Raiola.
And who will be with him at the game tonight? 7:30. Now I really do want to know. I didn't even think about that till during the break.
Summer writes in, this is stupid. That third-year jump was old school rules that are out the door. Matt started here thinking old school, but has obviously switched this last year. I don't think if anything, the third-year jump shouldn't even exist anymore. Look at what Curt Cignetti did.
That was the 1-year jump.
So if anything, it should be longer? It should be longer than a third year, or it should be shorter? Because if you're saying it should be shorter than a third-year jump, then Matt Rule is already behind the 8 ball, because Curt Cignetti did it in 1 year. Let's not make no bones about it. Like, Curt Cignetti.
Nice hat, Summer.
Curt Cignetti was not great, and the success that he had in Indiana was not great for the outlook of the Nebraska football program, because Indiana, by no means of the imagination, no stretch of the imagination, is a football school. And they hired a guy who had his success at Elon and
not that
James
one.
Madison University. Right? And they brought him in, and in 1 year, he went 11-1 and made it to the college football playoff. Hey, you want to say, well, their schedule wasn't that hard, and when they played good teams, they didn't play well.
Still
Fine,
hard to go
whatever.
11-1.
Still really hard to go 11-1.
Otherwise, everyone would do it.
Still really hard to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. Nebraska hasn't been able to do that. Nebraska was favored against UCLA. They lost that game.
Yeah, that was bad.
Like,
and it was a lot closer than the final score, or it wasn't as close as the final score indicated.
So to say that the third-year jump was old school rules, like I would say that, yeah, it is old school. It probably should be quicker. With the amount of money that you can, how it's easier to bring in when you have a athletic department like Nebraska who's willing to pay people top dollar to bring them into your program. It should be easier to flip your program around and start winning games.
Ooh, Mike's on to what I'm saying.
I really hope, Mike.
That's what I'm going to be looking for.
Mike,
Never mind the game.
I hope not, Mike. I really hope not. You better not bring him on. No block and no rock either. Better not do that.
I don't think that.
Baby Gronk on. Maybe that's why Baby Gronk is in Lincoln
Unless
because he's making
Bigelow,
some podcast.
Bigelow and Baby Gronk. Now that's
God.
That's the duo
that
we
would
need.
That would be the combination that we need. Jacob Bigelow and Baby Gronk.
If anyone, can make it
JB and
happen.
BG.
Yeah.
You think that Baby Gronk would look good in a Jacob Bigelow sweater?
Absolutely. I would love to see that. I need to see these sweaters. Wait, I have
They're
seen
pretty
it.
good.
Yeah, I saw it on Instagram.
They're pretty good. Bigelow goes, hell no. Hey,
what?
You should. That'd be great for your brand. It wouldn't be good. It would not be good for. I don't know. I'm all for
Hell
brand
no, with
building.
that
I'm all, like I said,
attitude?
I'm all for getting the bag. I'm all for doing everything like that. Now, do you think so? Do you think that Dana's the more important ad than Eckler?
I still say yes because you got to put up points.
Yeah. It is all contingent. You know, you do bring up a good point. If you get blown, if you're always getting blown out and you're getting boat
Their
raced,
offense has just been such a rough watch that they had to do something. And the fact that Rule was compelled to do something in season, the
Never
break
seen
glass
anything
in
like it.
case of emergency, and watching that game, the tone changed, as we've said on the show for months since that happened. So I still got to go with that. But that doesn't mean
tone-
you're wrong
the
about
tone
Mike Eckler
changed.
because the special teams was horrific too.
I will push on this though. Like the tone changed, but in 2 of the 3 games, they still didn't score 20 points on offense. They still had some, you know, in USC, I think it was 17 points, but they had points manufactured for them on the defense. I
Right.
think it was only 10 points that
Right.
they really manufactured themselves.
Wisconsin, they
Iowa now-
look good.
Well, this
Iowa
Wisconsin, they
was
look great.
The
Iowa's
weather
Iowa.
had I was Iowa, and the weather was awful that night for offensive football unless you're going to pound the ball, which you don't have to tell Nebraska that.
They're definitely.
Just
I
be the
will
way.
say this though, and this is a point that I will definitely be making as we get closer and closer to the season. I think the worst thing that could happen outside of devastating season-ending injuries against Cincinnati is that the Nebraska offense
hope
steps
not.
out onto the field and they get shut out or they get just absolutely manhandled by Cincinnati's defense. Because
Good thing you'll be at the game and not hosting overreaction if that happens.
That's a good point. But I think that we all see that Dana Holgerson's offense is just quicker and faster and more efficient than Marcus Satterfield's offense, and it looked visually so much better.
Well, like you said,
but there need to
get
be,
the ball out of your hands quicker.
And I think there's this expectation that because there's going to be a full offseason of having Dana as the offensive coordinator, that there will be another step taken in this offense. And if that were not to be the case, and if that were not to be shown in week 1 of the season, and right away you didn't see the improvements and you didn't see Dylan immediately take that step into being a better quarterback, it would deflate the fan base and there would be negative momentum to begin the year. And Nebraska football just does not need another season where they start off on the wrong foot.
Well, the fan base is just tired of all this stuff. They just want to win. They just want to be proud of their football team.
Hey, it's all time we just take a seat and we all just act like Al Davis and we say, just win, baby.
I got you.
Just win.
I was picturing Crypt Keeper Al Davis at the end.
We got a good show for you coming up here. We're going to talk a little bit about some All-Star games, stuff that's happening in professional sports. Then we're going to bring on the impeccable Sarah Baker Hansen.
Agreed, by the way, Mike.
And then maybe Steve Sipple. And then after that, Brian Edwards will end our Thursday show. You're listening to Gary and Matt here on 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620, The Zone.
NIL is here, and it is the way of the 21st century. And if you would like to help your team succeed, visit athleticsontheline.com. On the Line allows you to partner with your favorite school and assign a measurable metric like wins or three-point field goals to a dollar amount that you choose. It's affordable, it's easy, it's fun. On the Line partners with Creighton, with Nebraska, and with Omaha. So visit On the Line today and gamify your giving. athleticsontheline.com.
Your home is your most valuable investment. When replacing your roof, entrust it to the MVPs in Omaha. Moose Roofing. Pat and his team have roofed thousands of homes in the Omaha area. At Moose Roofing, their passion is taking care of families by providing revolutionary, highly functional, visually appealing, and fortified roofing systems. And they'll navigate the insurance process for you the entire way. Contact Moose Roofing today at mooseroofing.com because
the Moose knows how to roof.
Out here in the middle of all these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on earth. And sometimes that's how it feels when you're going through tough times. Trouble sleeping, your mind racing. So what do? We get help. There are people in our community who are here for us. Sometimes just talking to someone can make all the difference in the world. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes. Feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Omaha Maverick Hockey hits the road as they head to Kalamazoo to take on Western Michigan this weekend. You can listen to the games on News Talk 1290 Coil. It's UNO at Western Michigan on your home for Maverick Hockey. News Talk 1290 Coil.
1620 The Zone at 1620thezone.com. Pull up a chair with Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone.
All right, we'll continue on this quick Matt Rule conversation real quick before we get into just a very quick segment about All-Star games. I do want to clarify here.
Oh yeah, the NBA All-Star games this weekend.
I do want to say that I think Nebraska's going to go 8-4, and I think with everything that Matt Rule has invested in this coaching staff and in this player personnel and everything that they got, that things are looking up for the program and they're going to end up winning 8 games. But if that were not to happen, and if everything went south and they went 6-6, then you know my opinion after that last segment. Joey emails into the Equitable Bank inbox. We do banking differently. I kind of jive with what you're saying. If they go 6-6 next year, then I think Rule's seat should be very hot but not fired. Do that, and we are back in the cycle that got Nebraska where they are now. Nebraska has had issues that they have been the same for the last 3 coaches. So a culture change is needed, which I think they are working up to, but that takes time. What I personally want to see is clean up the issues that are beating us. Special teams, inconsistent defense, mental mistakes like penalties. If that stuff is still an issue in year 3, then yes, we have a problem. Joey, I agree with you. It's a great point. I'll say this, though.
If you clean it up, you'll be not 6-6.
When you exactly,
you'll be better.
Exactly.
Have to.
And there's a certain point an athletic department gets to where they look at the football program and they say, what else more can we do? What are we not doing enough of in order to give this coach the best opportunity for his football team to win games? I think, and they should be happy about this, the Nebraska Athletic Department has done a lot for Matt Rule. And they have invested a lot of money for Matt Rule. And I think they're getting to the point where maybe there are, things that are smaller within the building, smaller details within the building that maybe they could do better. But on a macro scale, they've done a lot for this football program. So kudos to them and the money that they've invested into this coaching staff and this roster. I think they're going to have a good year. I think that what they have as a coaching staff and what they have as a roster and what the schedule looks like is
They've put themselves in a position to have
success. They put themselves in a good position in the offseason. But my opinion, if they go 6-6.
But you got to have that conversation. That's fair because it could happen. We've seen stuff like that happen here over the past 20 years. What happens if that happens versus, okay, what if we go 8-4, 9-3? Well, obviously, but you have to consider. So I smell what you're cooking. Okay.
So
so do a lot of the commenters, and you're not alone.
Four Nations Classic was yesterday. It was hockey. It continues tonight. The USA plays Finland on ESPN at 7:00. I'm excited for that because I love hockey.
They're playing in Montreal, right?
They're in Montreal.
That should
This
go well.
is a interesting combo to have because the Four Nations Classic has basically taken over for the NBA All-Star Game, and there's this conversation of maybe other leagues should do that. I want to tell you right now that conversation is mute and should not take up a lot of time because the case in point is this. The NBA, it would never work in the NBA because the NBA has a bunch of selfish stars who only care about their brand and how much money they make. So they would
Being
never
friends with everybody.
They would never put forward the competitive effort that hockey players do because they just don't have the pride that hockey players do in their team and in their country for it to be an entertaining thing. I think that maybe you could do it for baseball, but man, I wouldn't want to take away from the World Baseball Classic.
I'm just happy we're going back to our normal uniforms for the All-Star Game in baseball.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of that too. But I don't baseball. The World Baseball Classic has its thing. I don't think there's any way for
and
you shouldn't meddle in that.
Yeah.
Gary Bettman announced yesterday, the NHL commissioner, that they are going to do an in-season tournament that's 2 years before the Olympic tournament. That will be an in-season world tournament. So they're already going to do that now.
Oh, a world tournament. Okay,
world tournament,
not like the NBA's ridiculous.
No,
stupid.
No, not an in-season NHL tournament, in-season world tournament, which I'm a fan
That's
of.
different.
And I think that this year is a bit of an anomaly because we just haven't seen world hockey at this stage with these NHL players, with the best players in the world playing against each other. We haven't seen it in 10 years. And the World Juniors has been so popular for these young players who many of the players who are now playing in this Four Nations Classic also played in the World Juniors. So you have this want and this need for international hockey that people just have not been able to grab onto. And so this Four Nations Classic is giving that to people, and it's giving it to the players too, because the players want to prove, hey, my nation is the best at hockey, which is why they're giving such an effort. I think this All-Star Game, substitute Four Nations Classic, it's an anomaly. You can't recreate it in any other sport because I don't think any other sport has this buildup that the NHL has
Baby
had.
Gronk's followed the show now.
Hell yeah.
I'm not making this up.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
the man, football celebrity, it says, and there's the picture. Okay, I should retweet this from our account so that we can.
Thanks for following.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks
I
for
have my opinions.
listening.
I don't have anything against Baby Gronk as
You said you're
as
not
the kid.
after the kid, you're after dad.
I'm after dad.
Yeah.
I don't like that dad is parading Baby Gronk into Hooters and having him take pictures with waiters.
Their wings are awful
waitresses.
greasy.
Hooters wings are pretty good.
Oh no, I like them. I'm not saying grease is a bad thing. Remember, I like the bag to be greasy so you can see through.
Hey, do you know who knows where the best wings in Omaha are? Sarah Baker Hansen, man.
Oh, nice. Look what you did.
She's coming up next year. You're listening to Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Plumright Time-Saving Traffic Center. There was a crash 680 southbound at Center off to the left shoulder, currently causing delays to Pacific Street. The earlier wreck at 144th just south of Dodge still being cleared up. Speaking of Dodge, that eastbound traffic still a little bit slow from 192nd to 137th, and JFK northbound seeing delays from Chandler to I-80. Still some slick roads out there from the weather. As always, please stay safe and wear that seatbelt and have a great rest of your day. I'm Peter Krenzer.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
Everybody's favorite cash blast from the Nebraska Lottery is back. Until April 1st, buy a 2x2 ticket and enter the voucher number online to win a $5,000 or $500 weekly prize. 2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000.
J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers, offers exterior solutions that help you protect your number one investment. Whether it's roofing and siding or windows and doors, they're committed to excellence, quality, and outstanding customer service in every step of the process. When it's time to protect the exterior of your home, your choice is simple. Turn to who the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Check them out online and schedule a free estimate today. J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
Creighton Sports Update.
Creighton women's basketball returns to DJ Sokol Arena this Saturday afternoon. It's senior day, and they're calling for a whiteout as they take on the Georgetown Hoyas at 3 o'clock. Don't miss any of the action with only 3 home games left on the schedule. Visit GoCreighton.com to get your tickets or for more information. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
If you're considering a career in broadcasting, 1620 The Zone and the Nebraska Broadcasters Association Foundation can help you become part of this exciting field. 3 $2,000 scholarships are available to 4-year college and university students who will have completed 30 credits as of
We are in the final stretch of today's Thursday show, starting the 9 o'clock hour. Gary and Matt. Gary out in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, as the Omaha Mavericks look to make it 4 in a row against the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. We've been talking a lot about sports, flapping our gums about sports. Now it's time to take a different mood, a different tone. We're talking to the one, the only Sarah Baker Hansen. Sarah, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Okay, so we were, and I don't want you to get offended by this question, but we were talking about it right before you got on air. You have a wing spot, the best wings in town from in Omaha?
Like my personal favorite?
Yes. What's your personal favorite spot for wings?
Personal favorite is Everett, so I also really love Trax.
Okay. There we go. That's where we will be going to the next time.
What was the discussion?
Well, we were talking about
somebody else making a choice.
We were talking about Hooters and how they have good wings. And then I was
that
like,
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You know,
okay,
I haven't
no,
been to
no,
Hooters
I know.
since
Matt
was
wants
in
to
high
expand
school.
his palate.
I know
here.
I'm expanding my palate, and I go,
I've been
Hooters
there.
has great wings, but I want to know where Sarah thinks there are great wings, because I prefer to have wings where you think they're great as opposed to
Yeah.
going to Hooters and having
Right.
wings.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that you're going to check somewhere else out.
Well, you are my guide, Miss Baker Hansen.
I think
you tell me where to go, and that's where I go.
there are a great number of Omahans who have a large amount of passion for tracks.
Okay.
And I gotta say, I mean, it's legit. You know, they are very good. And I have a friend who loves chicken wings, and Trax is his favorite.
Okay, Trax.
And I like Everett's because I think if there were to be such a thing as sort of a chef-driven chicken wing spot in Omaha, I think it's Everett's.
Okay.
They do things like they have a wing Wednesday, like a lot of places have, but they hand sort their wings by size.
Wow.
And so the smaller wings go into the Wing Wednesday special, and the larger wings are what they serve every other day. They brine their wings.
Nice.
So that really, I think, increases the deliciousness of the wings, and all of their sauces are made from scratch.
Is that not to get too technical here and in the weeds, dry brine or a wet brine?
I believe it's a wet brine.
Okay.
Yeah, but I wrote a story. If you look on SarahBakerHansen.com, we did a wings bracket a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was actually last year. They all kind of
think
run
so.
together.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, I did a story on my website about Everett and kind of their process, and their sauces are like named after regular customers, and it's just it's like a little kind of locally owned hidden gem, I think.
So speaking about your website, you published an article today about a Italian staple here in Omaha.
One of your recommendations to me a couple years ago when we moved here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did a review on a re-review, I guess you will call it, or a story on Dante. It's really great.
Yes.
I've gone through almost most of it. Just tell me about the spot. Tell me about your journey with it. The chef, just how you've seen it grow and how they're still innovating how they make Italian food 15 years into having their spot in West Omaha.
Yeah. So I interestingly enough, I found this hard to believe myself. I have never reviewed Dante.
Really?
I have written a lot of stories about Dante.
Sure.
I have written, they're consistently in my top list of restaurants.
Yeah.
I recommend people to go there all the time. But I had never really done a review. And so we went to their 15th anniversary dinner, which was amazing to me that they had been going for 15 years. And the dinner was absolutely fantastic. And I was like, I think I'm going to review Dante after we went to that dinner.
Yeah.
And so, I kind of, I went down a little bit of a walk of my own memory lane of some of the things that I have loved. And Chef Nick Strawhecker, like I said, I've written a lot of stories with him over the years. And my story today, which is live on flatwaterfreepress.org, talks about some of those stories that we did together. And actually in 2015, so 10 years ago, Nick and I got in a van and we drove to a bunch of little tiny local farms that Nick was working with to get local produce and local food.
Yeah.
And that was really, a big focus for a lot of restaurants at the time. But one of the things I think that is really admirable about Dante is that Nick has remained just as devoted to that last week as he was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
and I think I could probably get on a van with Nick Strawhecker and go to a bunch of small farms just like we did that day and meet the producers that grow the food that the chefs at Dante cook. And, that was a really big trend for a little while, having a chalkboard with all the local farms that you work with. And that was just a big deal. And Nick has kind of quietly stuck to that. And really, I think, is one of the most locally focused and most seasonally driven restaurants in Omaha because of that. And that is very Italian. Like, that is how people operate in Italy. And Nick's very devoted to that. And so he wants to do that in the same fashion in Nebraska. And he's been doing it for 15 years. And I thought that deserved to be celebrated a little bit.
I totally agree. Now, I think that, and kind of a follow-up question here, you talk about how with Nick, right, He was really dedicated to getting local ingredients and using that for his restaurant. And do you think that there were people who did that during that time who, for whatever reason, no longer do that, whether it be because of cost or maybe it's not as efficient or whatever? Is that something that was a trend and then people might have started to get away from for reasons?
Oh yeah, I think absolutely. I mean, I didn't really go into too deep of detail in the story, but a lot of the restaurants that were doing that sort of local seasonal cooking in kind of 2015 or so, they're gone. They aren't in business anymore. And I looked up all of I think Nick and I that day in 2015 went to 4 farms kind of around the Lincoln area. They were all kind of in small towns between Omaha and Lincoln. And of those 4 farms, only 1 is still in business. And so I think that gives you an idea of how hard it is to be a locally, seasonally chef-driven restaurant, and how hard it is to be a small local farmer.
Yeah.
And Nick basically said, this creates a lot of work. We have, we just have a lot of, we get a lot of challenges. Like, the food cycle is based on the seasons, and so it's February. Like, there is going to be no fresh tomatoes and asparagus on the menu right now at Dante, but there are mushrooms, and there are roasted squash, and there are starting to come into whatever's coming into seasonality this spring. And so I've watched Nick cook in this way for a long time, and as I kind of write about in the story, I have so many memories, kind of like some of the customers that he said he spoke with during that 15-year dinner, who have specific memories of dishes or things they tried for the first time at Dante. And I count myself among those customers, kind of just having some of these first-time incredible Italian food experiences at Dante, which eventually, led me to travel to Italy to try some of the things that Nick and his restaurant had introduced me to as a diner.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
It's pretty sweet. I still have some places I want to go in Italy because of Nick.
Do you think that might be the allure of Dante, that the fact that, I think a lot of people know what Italian cuisine is, or at least they think they know what Italian cuisine is. And every time you step through the doors of that restaurant, you get to learn something different about the cuisine you thought you know so much about.
Yeah, I think one of the things that Dante, so Nick's family is from Italy. Like he is born of Italian immigrants to Omaha. So he, has traveled extensively to Italy. And I think a lot of Omahans are familiar with sort of the Italian steakhouse, right? Like the kind of Italian American cuisine that a lot of Italian immigrants brought to Omaha. And I think what Dante is doing, and really fascinating to me, started doing in 2009, when a lot of these things we'd never even heard of before, or I hadn't. He started cooking and serving food the way that it's served in Italy.
Yeah.
Not an Americanized version of Italian food, but actually what you would find in Italy. And on my subsequent travels to Italy, Nick's given me advice over the years of when you go to this town, go to this restaurant and get this dish. And, this is a place I worked, go visit there. And when you're driving around Italy, go to the truck stops, because all the, Italian grandmas homemade pasta at truck stops and stuff. And I've done all this stuff that he has, led me toward doing, and had incredible experiences because of it. But what's so cool is that, this is another example of why Omaha is such a great food town, because Nick is giving us that experience in Omaha. You don't have to go to Italy if you don't want to or can't afford it or whatever. You can just go to Dante, because he is bringing those experiences to us in Omaha. And that's just one of the many, many things that we've talked about over the years that makes Omaha's restaurant scene so robust and delightful to be a part of.
Well, and that's one of the things we talked about a couple of years ago. I mean, when you told me about it, I was thinking, oh, it's just a pizza place. And then we went to eat there, and it's so much more. I mean, yeah, they have great pizza and everything, but I'll be honest with you. One of the things I had there that was pretty amazing was the squid ink pasta.
Yes. And I love squid ink pasta, and I've had it a couple of times, but there's one on the menu right now that's a squidding pasta mixed with crab. And it's a super simple pasta, but it's got breadcrumbs and garlic and Calabrian chili, another Italian flavor that I had never had before I went to Dante. And that's it. But it's so simple and delicious. And you know how I've talked before about how Chef David Utterback kind of ruined me on sushi. Like I learned a lot from him about sushi, and then there were certain things that I just didn't like care for as much anymore. Like Nick's ruined me on pasta. Like I don't want to go eat like a boxed pasta anymore.
Yeah, no more
at
Easy
a
Mac.
restaurant. You know, I want like a homemade, beautiful squid ink and crab pasta. And so, you know, and we talked a little bit when I interviewed Nick last weekend about over these 15 years how diners at Dante have changed.
Sure.
And you know, he has kind of been a huge part of educating diners in Omaha of what Italian cuisine is. And now they come in and they're like you. They want squid ink pasta, or they want, you know, pizza with an egg on it, or they want some other thing like a big ball of burrata, or locally raised honeycomb with homemade ricotta, you know, or just all kinds of different things that we've been introduced to that now are part of our kind of conversation as a city of what Italian food is. And I think that's really cool.
Okay, so I'm on the Flatwater Free Press right now looking at your article, and these pictures look absolutely incredible. I mean, you have this, so I'm looking at this lasagna bolognese.
That's what I'm looking at.
That
That's what I
looks
want right now.
awesome. Then so these are your pictures, I take it, right?
Some of these are my pictures over the years. Some of these are pictures that Dante provided me. But that's my picture of lasagna. If you've never had the Dante lasagna bolognese, it is amazing. Homemade bechamel sauce, homemade bolognese sauce, homemade pasta. You can have the option to put a ball of burrata.
Yeah,
on top
which
of
is
your
what you
lasagna.
did. That's
Don't even think about it.
That's
Just
a
do
big
it.
old ball of burrata up there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. The meatballs are fantastic. The butters. I would be like, I can't do an interview about Dante without talking about the butterscotch budino, which you know, it remains solidly in my top 3 desserts that I've had anywhere in Omaha, period. I love it. I can't go to Dante and not get it. And it's another example of something that's so simple but so well executed. Like it's an Italian custard flavored with butterscotch. And what really pushes it over the top is that the top is coated in flaky sea salt and salted caramel.
Okay.
And it's just so simple, but every bite of it is delicious. And every time I order it, it's just inevitable that I'm going to eat the entire thing. Like I have no self-control when it comes to this dessert because it's so good.
That I can relate
if
to.
you haven't had a couple of these things like the lasagna or the budino or even the squid ink pasta, like make a reservation and get out to Dante because, like you said, they're much more than just a pizza joint.
I can second this, Matt. You should go. I'm not just saying.
I would love to. So, 15 years of Dante.
Yeah.
When you talk to Chef Nick Strawhacker, like, what is the vision? What is the future of Dante? Is it just keeping it the way that it's always been, or is there evolution? What does he foresee for this restaurant after such a great anniversary?
I talked to him a little bit about it, and he had been working in fine dining, and he was kind of tired of it, and so that's why he's decided to do pizza. And he knew he was going to do like Neapolitan style pizza. That in 2009 Omaha didn't really have this style of pizza that he was envisioning. So he did that, and then he also got bored of just doing pizza. So that's what that's why he started doing pasta and wine dinners and different types of stuff that he added to the menu. And as part of the 15-year anniversary, Dante has released 3 wines under its own label. So at that dinner, those wines debuted. He's working with a winery in Italy. And so, I can only think of one other restaurant in Omaha off the top of my head that's ever done anything like that. And they're interesting, unusual Italian wines that a lot of people probably haven't tried before. In fact, one of them I had never even heard of, the grape that it's made with. And so, I think that is a really good example of he wanted to, introduce Omahans more to Italian wine. Now many more Omahans know Italian wine because of Dante. And now he's rolling out wines that people can buy by the bottle or glass under Dante's own label, wines that he himself has chosen with the winemaker to roll out in Omaha. And I feel like that's a really good example of, something that he thought to do that a lot of restaurants wouldn't do, to take that risk. And I feel like that's a really a cool step forward. I mean, honestly, like there are so many different types of cuisine in Italy that we've probably never tried in Omaha yet.
Sure.
I am 100% positive that, Dante will continue to be introducing us to new things that we've never had before. And that's something I think that we can really look forward to.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, attention to detail is
Mhm.
a big factor in
Yeah.
any sort of restauranting business,
And the
right?
wine's pretty good too.
Yes, that, but just
Yeah.
making sure that not only that you're getting the best ingredients, but making them the best you can, and the pairing everything together. And just reading your article, it seems like Dante does it almost as good as anyone else in the Omaha area. Sarah, before we let you go here, is there anything else we should be on the lookout for? That I know you got a Steak USA, right? Or
Steaktown.
Steaktown USA. What can we be looking for on SarahBakerHanson.com and on the Flatwater Free Press?
We've got a steak number 2 in the Steaktown series coming out next week.
Awesome.
So we'll be able to look for that. You can go to flatwaterfreepress.org and check out our statewide steakhouse map, which I believe is up to 88 steakhouses across the state. If you see one that's missing, let us know. We've gotten a ton of feedback. I have a list, I think, of around 35 steakhouses that people have suggested that I visit. I'm probably not going to make it to that many, but we put all of those on the map. So the map is pretty comprehensive at this point. Just a cool resource. I hope people enjoy looking at it, and I hope they decide to, like me, take some steak road trips in 2025.
Well, Sarah Baker Hanson, check her stuff out at sarahbakerhanson.com and in the Flatwater Free Press if you want to see her articles on food around Omaha and her critiques and everything like that. Sarah, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Can't wait to talk to you about number 2 of Steaktown USA. Really appreciate you coming on as always.
Sure. Love talking to you guys.
All right.
Thanks, Sarah.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. She had to go.
Yeah, rookie mistake there. Dropped our guest a little bit too early.
She's not lying about Dante though. I mean, I'm not just saying that just because it was on there. This was one of the first places she recommended when we moved here because we lost all our places, and it is really good.
It is. It really is impressive when you could go into any situation and say, okay, I'm gonna get organic ingredients. I'm gonna go and get ingredients from local farms. I'm going to invest in this. And when the going gets tough, because it's not an easy thing to do, and if that was an easy thing to do, everyone would do it. When the going gets tough in that regard, there are some people who stray away from that. Kudos to Dante for sticking with that and sticking with that mission and getting the best possible ingredients. And it's no coincidence that, hey, you get the best ingredients and make some of the best food around in West Omaha, especially with Italian cuisine. It was a great article by Sarah Baker Hanson. You can check it out on the Flatwater Free Press. Hey, big weekend of hoops for Black, Red, and Blue Nebraska.
And by the way, we have an update. Baby Gronk is in Bloomington, Minnesota today, so he will not be at the game with Dylan tonight. Somebody else will be sitting with him.
I'm sorry. Is the kid not in school?
That's what I want to know.
Okay.
It's not a holiday.
Well, I was doing a great transition there until you brought up something that I just absolutely...
You should be happy. He's not going to be at the game tonight.
I don't know. I kind of wish he was at the game. It would have given us a lot
You wanted the
to talk
content.
about. Yeah, I wanted the content a little bit from
See,
my quarterback for
that's how you know
tomorrow's episode.
That's a secret.
Black, Red, and Blue Nebraska. Big weekend ahead. We'll be talking about it, breaking it all down. The quest for 3 tournament teams in the state of Nebraska continues. Don't go anywhere. We're talking all about it here on 1620 The Zone. You're listening to Gary and Matt. Good song.
It is. That's a warm weather driving song. Sky looks like this. Don't look at the ground. Just look at the sky.
Yeah,
Don't look at the trees.
Mount McMaster, kind of decreasing right now.
I want to follow this debate. Mount McMaster
It's
or
not a
Mount
debate.
Happer.
It's not a debate. It's Mount McMaster. I've established that
I'm
it's
just
Mount
here to
McMaster.
listen. I'm
Told
here to
Happer
watch.
was Mount McMaster yesterday. He didn't have any pushback. I mean, he wasn't like, it's definitely not Mount McMaster.
So you're saying
Mount
it's the other two guys that went and said, no, we're doubling down. This is Mount Happer.
Then it was back to it being Mount Happer. I'm going to tell you right now.
This was their crossover, is what you're
I'm
saying.
going to tell you right now. Everyone's going to know whose mountain it is. Okay? Everyone
Okay.
will find out
Okay.
whose mountain it is outside the NRG media sign. It's not really a mountain right now. It's a mountainscape. Like I said before, there's multiple peaks and multiple valleys that are
Right.
cascading.
This isn't Rocky
around.
training in Russia.
No. But it is a nice mount that's being created and being built. Like I said before, heading into this break, Gary Sharp on the road currently with the UNO Mavericks. Pretty sure you look on any US
Guys
map,
are
it's
the
called
best.
Mount Happer. Hey, I have not. There's no renaming. It's just claiming. I'm claiming Mount McMaster. So, Gary on the road in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, as the UNO Mavericks look to make history and try and get to the NCAA tournament. They have to win the Summit League Conference tournament in order to do that, but
Just
they
never lose
currently-
again.
Currently in first place in the Summit League. They play two of the best teams in the Summit League on the road. Definitely the toughest part of their season to date as they take on South Dakota State. And then they also take on St. Thomas later in the week. And then Nebraska plays tonight against Maryland, ranked team in the vault. Nebraska's going to have to battle through some key injuries on the defensive end.
Weather won't be an issue. Be a great night to go to a basketball game. Be
And
cold,
that's-
but good thing the roof will be closed
And
at PBA.
That's a key note there on the defensive end. Barricade Buctan Gel definitely is a key contributor. On the offensive end, definitely hit or miss. But I think it goes without saying. I mean, his athleticism and his length and his post defense has been really good for the team this year, which is why through those offensive struggles, he still was on the floor as much as he was. And so they're going to have to battle through some things when they take on Julian Reese and Derek Queen for the Maryland Terrapins, who have won 5 of their last 6. Should be 6 in a row. I mean, there's no reason why they should have lost that game against Ohio State on the road. It took an all-time Bruce Thornton performance in the second half. He dropped 21 points and then banked a 3 in at the last second in order to beat the Terrapins at home. So Maryland hot coming into the vault. Right now, Nebraska is on bracket matrix. They are a 10 seed. The lowest that they have them.
So winning is advised.
Winning is advised. The bubble's weird, though. Not a great bubble. If we're looking at the bubble, I mean, Wake Forest.
Don't be on it.
They lost yesterday. Not great. So they'll be on it. We'll see what happens there. I mean, I think for Nebraska, this is definitely one of those games where there's still a lot left to be had in the Big Ten. And seeing what this team has done this season, I'm not throwing the possibility of a back-breaking loss out the window. And I'm not throwing away the possibility that they could go on another detrimental losing streak, because when they were 12-2, I don't think anyone foresaw them being 12-8 and firmly out of the NCAA tournament picture.
Creighton lost 6 in a row 2 years ago, and they were one bad call away from the Final Four.
Yeah. Great call.
It's a horrible call.
Horrible call.
Still.
San Diego.
Swallow your damn whistle.
Anyway, you always
Lee
bring
Cassell.
up bad memories. Every time that you and I are on together, it's just you and me. You know, we get on rolls, and then you just have to dampen the mood a little bit.
I'm just trying to balance it here. You remember, what does Gary say? We're fair and balanced?
We are fair and balanced.
Yeah.
That's
what they tell me.
It's a horse crap call.
It really
Anyway, Nebraska, if they were to win today, it would make a major, major step for them not even being in the conversation of being on the bubble. I mean, if you were to lose a couple of these Big Ten games in a row, let me tell you something right now. If Nebraska is to lose against Northwestern on Sunday, that would be a terrible, terrible, terrible loss. I think it would probably be their worst loss of the season, considering the fact that Northwestern has undergone a ton of injuries. Jalen Leach out, Brooks Barnheiser out. I mean, some of their and Northwestern, by no stretch of the imagination, is a deep team. So if they are to lose Sunday, then we start getting into those uncomfortable conversations we were having after their losses to Rutgers and USC and Maryland. But phenomenal opportunity tonight for Nebraska to not only just secure themselves in the tournament, but to boost their resume. And talk about boosting resumes.
7:30, right?
I got to look right here real quick. I got it all pulled up.
It's
It's 7:30 on the Big Ten Network. Nebraska still holding at a 1.5 point favorite. Nebraska Omaha takes on South Dakota State at 7 o'clock. Catch that on 1180. Creighton, talk about a hell of an opportunity. Talk about a gift. I mean, Villanova, St. John's was terrible yesterday.
Is it a gift or did it hurt them?
St. John's was terrible yesterday, and they still only lost that game by 2 points. That still was a competitive game. St. John's took, I think it was 37 3-pointers, and they're one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the country. I think currently right now they're doing sprints at their practice gym because Rick Pitino, rightfully so,
on the baseline.
Probably just so pissed off at his team's performance, and there's no reason why they should have lost that game yesterday. But they did. Villanova hands Creighton an incredible opportunity to go to the Garden to get another signature win. Now, they have a signature win against Kansas. Now, granted, I think some people have forgotten about that because one of the key players in the game was Pop Isaacs, and he is currently not playing.
They didn't
He's
forget.
injured and out
They had
for the
fun that
year.
night.
Well, I think that people don't credit that win as much as they should because it's a different team. I mean, they're a much
Right,
different
Doug?
team now
Right, Andrew?
than they were then. But that's their signature win. When you look at the resume, the number one team in the country at the time came into the Chi, and Creighton beat them.
Beat the crap out of them.
But this win, I
Got the
think,
guy.
would even be maybe an even greater signature win than the Kansas game. And I'll tell you why. And I know there are going to be some people who are like, Matt, come on. Like, how is beating St. John's,
I'm with you here,
the number 9 team who's coming off of a bad loss, a bigger signature win than beating the number 1 team in the country at home at the time? I'll tell you exactly why. First off, it's what comes down to what I said previously. The team that beat Kansas is not the team that is heading into the NCAA tournament. Pop Isaacs is not coming back. Okay. They played a different style of basketball, right? They had different key contributors when they beat Kansas. Well, I don't want to say they play a different style of basketball, but they definitely have had to change.
they're a better team now than they were then, even though they
Yes.
played well that night.
They're a different team. They're just a different team. And the team that they currently are now is going to be the team that's going in the NCAA tournament.
Yes.
The team that beat Kansas is not going to be in the NCAA tournament because the team that beat Kansas had Pop Isaacs, and Pop Isaacs isn't going to be playing in the NCAA tournament. And so if you were to win this game,
a league game
on the road against a ranked team,
Pitino.
get first place in the Big East,
Dressed as Colonel
in the
Sanders.
Garden, in front of a crowd, people are going to be watching this game. If you were to win this game, man, and this is the team you're heading into the tournament with, it's no longer going to be, wow, what a great coaching job from Coach Mack, and oh my God, this team has really turned it around. It's no longer going to be that conversation. You start flipping into the convo of they can make a run. They can make a run.
Does Mac start getting talked about some other accolades in the conference if that happens?
Here's
hey,
the thing.
He's done a hell of a job.
It's hard not to give Mac the Big East Coach of the Year if he were to beat
changed it.
Pitino twice. Right, to beat Pitino at home, right? That's a good accomplishment. To give them one of their current 2 losses, you're not going to take that away.
Yeah, but to go there, Mecca basketball, national TV,
twice, to beat them out more than likely because they still got to play. You know, Creighton's done. After Creighton plays St. John's, they're cruising all the way back into the Big East
right?
tournament.
They play DePaul every night.
They play Butler and DePaul and Seton Hall, and Creighton is not a team that loses those types of games. Okay, so this is their coup de grace. This is the biggest game they will play in the regular season. And I'm stressing to you right now, if they were to win this game and beat St. John's of the road, this is the team you're taking into the tournament. It would be bigger than beating Kansas at home, who was number 1 at the time, because that's not the team that's going to the tournament.
Then your seed line's going up.
Your
What
seed
did
line's
Doug say
going
in his
up.
email the other day? What he said 4 or 5. Now you start talking 5s, 6s.
So currently there's 7.
Okay.
And we're still in the doomsday situation of where Creighton and Nebraska very well could be playing each other in the NCAA tournament because there are 7 and Nebraska's 10. This type of win on the road against St. John's,
that won't happen. Well, not the win.
They
I'm
would
talking
be.
about the Creighton Nebraska game.
They would be a 6 seed alone. They would jump from 7 to 6 alone
With an arrow
without a
pointing
doubt.
up.
And also, too, Nebraska can help Creighton if they beat Maryland tonight because Maryland is mocked to be a 6 in bracket matrix. So if a Maryland loss and a Creighton win could flip-flop those two schools. Okay, so then Creighton goes from playing a 10 to playing a 6, or a 10 to
11.
playing 11, and then you go from playing a 2 to playing a 3, which is a jump. I mean, I would much rather
They were a 6 2 years ago, and they were hot.
I would much rather play Arizona, Wisconsin, or Kansas as opposed to playing Florida, Houston, Purdue, like without a doubt. Oh, hi, friend. How you doing, Chris? What do you? Can you get on the camera? Can you get in front of the camera to show everybody what you're wearing?
On the camera. They saw.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Here, come on in. Turn the microphone on. Why not? What do you have?
I got gifts.
Here, turn your microphone on.
Well, it's on.
It's
probably
on.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you
I
have
have
for me?
gifts.
He has gifts.
So here are some Super Bowl chocolates.
Oh my
Ooh.
goodness!
The only
Look
way
at
to
this,
get these
everybody.
is being in the
at the Super Bowl
$20,000 suite.
Our friend Chris, who works here, Super Bowl chocolates.
Mexico NFL made these.
Okay.
We got to give these to Gary.
Whoa,
Look at this.
we do got to give these to Gary.
Our St. Travis
Well,
right here.
St. Patrick.
St. Patrick
Oh.
as well.
Oh wow.
And you know we gotta go both ways. So
Oh yeah, can I get a St. Jalen?
Saint Jalen.
here's St. Jalen.
St. Jalen.
Saint
thank you.
Saquon.
And can I get a St. Saquon? And is there a St. Cooper as well?
No, but they did have. I have one St. Taylor Swift.
That's like an auctionable
I think
item,
so.
a St. Taylor Swift.
Wait till the next all staff meeting.
Okay.
I know you guys are all Eagles fans in here.
Oh my lord.
Hey.
No
Oh, you
way.
brought
Yes,
brought
sir.
confetti.
No
Hold
way.
on. Now, do you know so there's things you need to know about the confetti.
Okay.
The normal confetti, you have confetti in your coffee now.
Great.
The normal confetti they throw out
Okay.
is rectangle shaped.
Yeah.
This
Super Bowl confetti.
Yeah.
is
Speaking of the
Lombardi
microphone.
Trophy. The Lombardi Trophy shaped.
Oh nice.
Oh,
I thought that
wow.
was the state of New Jersey. Okay.
Look at that.
Yes.
Look at that Lombardi.
We have different colors.
This
Okay,
is,
what else do you got for us?
What I always bring, the easiest thing to transport, is a piece of paper,
yeah.
the flip card.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
There you go.
Very
Holy
nice.
Lord. Look at this,
Thank you.
Chris.
Thank you.
Look at that. Look at the Super Bowl memorabilia. Yeah, heck yeah. Give me that.
From the light show,
Nice.
still flashing the winning colors.
Holy Lord.
There you go.
Look at
Do
that.
you want a program?
Prudon. Look at you, Prudon.
I'll take a pro.
You want a program?
I'll take a program.
Well, there's only two. You
Uh,
guys fight for it. Then we'll give one to the afternoon show.
Yeah, there you
I'll
go.
take that. Oh my
Yeah.
Lord.
You
Show that
want
to the camera.
Do you want an actual Super Bowl cup?
Oh, there we go.
We
Yeah,
have
you
all
take the
sorts of
cup.
variations.
Jimmy,
For
you
the
get a
cup.
cup. Jimmy, you get a
He
cup.
gets me a cup every
Which
year.
one would you like?
Give me that big one right there in the
The
middle.
big one in the middle?
Yeah.
There you go.
And I'll take the Bud Light one.
There you go. It's
Look at
got
that.
the logo on it.
Look at that. Heck yeah, dude.
Do you want a popcorn bucket?
Yeah, why not? I'll take everything. Man, I'm a 22-year-old with a new apartment.
You're decorating this place.
This is
You're
this
decorating
is
this-
decorations. I need cups and bowls.
Do you bring on one lady and come out with
forks
that
and-
on?
Would you like a Aunt Sally's?
Yes.
praline?
What are these questions? Do
yes is
I want?
always the answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and this is improv. All right. What
I
are
love
you
it.
wearing on the top of your head?
A
Oh,
hat.
you can't see it.
No.
So
Come in here.
Nickelodeon.
Come in here.
Nickelodeon.
He got
broad-
slimed.
I'll come in there.
Okay.
Yeah, Nickelodeon does the broadcast.
Yeah.
right? And so at their booth, they were giving out slime hats,
Yeah.
There you go.
Look at that slime hat.
which are now going up for $100 on eBay.
I would sell that in an instant. Are you ever going
I
to wear
almost
that?
got a whole case of them.
That would have been a hell
made
of
out
an
like
investment. Hey, so my roommate, who's a Kansas City Chiefs fan,
Yeah.
a diehard Kansas City Chiefs fan, is going to love it when I come home with all of this Super Bowl memorabilia.
Oh, yeah. He needs
from
that.
like
He needs
the
the
worst
program.
game that he's ever watched
It
in his
was
entire life.
not a vibe.
Okay, here, get in the microphone.
I'm
real
on
quick.
the microphone.
He's on the
I want
microphone.
to make sure I have an actual question for you because Gary and I were talking
Let's
about
see
this.
what I can answer.
It's
we
on and
wanted-
everything.
And we wanted to bring you on. So the audio for the Travis or
For the halftime
for the
show?
halftime show for the Kendrick Lamar halftime show was absolutely awful over the TV. How did it sound at the game?
So I have some insight.
Okay.
At the game sounded great.
Yeah.
I'll play you
Oh,
video. I
okay.
have video from the halftime
Sure.
show. It sounded fine. The issue was they were concerned about what was going to be said, right? If you were going to go off script.
Oh.
So there was two, hi Alyssa, there was 2 5-second delays on his vocal mic. And on Kendrick's vocal mic.
Yeah.
And when the halftime show started, they had only fully ramped up 1 5-second delay.
Oh.
So while it was jumping around for you, that was because they were trying to get the second one ramped up between songs. So the goal was, if they needed to, they could dump Kendrick saying something dumb.
Yeah.
And put in just crowd noise, which is why the crowd sounded fine. And you were like, you were trying to
I
deduce
could
what was
hear-
happening.
Exactly. I could
but-
hear the crowd.
Yes.
I couldn't hear him.
Yep. That's
It
why.
was tough.
It's the
set
second time
list-
they've done it, and they've been burnt on it both years.
What was the other time they did it?
Last year.
Really? With Usher?
Yeah.
They were worried about Usher?
You never know.
They're worried about
there
it.
was the
They were-
Palestine
yeah.
flag thing,
There was a good point.
They're worried about Up With People back in the day.
which
Anything
that
could
guy
happen.
was on the crew. I don't know if you guys talked about that. He was on the crew.
No, we didn't. We
for
didn't
the
talk
whole
about it.
week.
And then pulls that out at the
Yeah.
Tough.
I figured when that happened.
The fact that he was right there, I immediately knew he was an employee.
Yeah. Well,
you were not jumping the fence.
this is I'm glad I'm a little disappointed though that like it sounded great.
That I didn't bring more. What are you doing?
No, in the stadium. Like
Oh, I thought
wish,
you
like,
brought
I
more
was
this
really-
year than ever
like,
before.
My biggest thing wasn't because people got on the set list, which I get it. The set list,
Which
maybe,
was pretty accurate.
like yeah. Oh, the leaked one, the
Yeah.
leaked set list.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. I saw that one. There was a rap podcast where the
Yes.
guy was trashing the set list, and then it ended up being pretty much exactly what it was.
Yeah.
I was fine with it. What I was mad about is I barely could hear
Yeah.
what he was saying.
I'm disappointed. So being there, I'm disappointed that the lasers and the pyro did not really happen.
Yeah.
That's true.
In rehearsals, there was lasers and pyro.
Oh, really?
Lots of pyro.
Here's
and it did.
I didn't like the stage.
Why?
You didn't like the PlayStation?
I kind of like
Squid
the
Game?
one like in Super Bowl 50 where they
Okay.
had that one stage and then it like went out like just a classic. And I know that was a rock band and not a rapper, right? But
rock,
like
it was
I
Coldplay.
like, well, hey, they're a band.
I mean, they're a
I
band.
like a classic big stage. I didn't like the moving around. Like when the Weeknd did it, like when the Weeknd did it, it was cool.
But that's
that was the
where
last great Super Bowl.
That's where it's complicated. I mean, it just the fact that they can build these things to roll in
Mm-hmm.
It's a good point.
in 6 minutes,
That's a good point.
and they're, I want to say eccentric, like they're over exaggerated
Yeah,
pieces.
they're not boring.
No.
And then roll them back out. That's awesome.
Oh, I agree with that. It's an
car that can
architectural
fit 30
marvel
people.
what they do.
The
with
light
these-
poles.
and the fact that they don't tear up the field, or there's this obvious like disadvantage of playing in the second half in the Super Bowl because the field. No, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I wasn't a big fan of how big it was and the whole PlayStation.
What did you
ride.
think about the pregame and postgame stage?
It was fine.
The pregame
It
show was fantastic.
The pregame show was decent. The postgame show, I just went to bed right after that.
Okay, well, that stage
wow.
is going to stay the same. next year.
Okay. Okay.
I found
good
that
enough.
out because they
I
can
was a fan-
accommodate everybody from the team
That is a
on
good
the
point.
stage. That's
I
what they were
don't
excited
like though. Here's my thing.
for. Okay.
I don't like how many people are on the team for Fox. Like I think it's just way too many cooks.
Well,
in the
I'm not
kitchen.
on the Fox team,
Yeah.
so that's fine with me.
Well, I'm not
There's-
complaining to you.
Yeah,
I'm
Westwood
just
looked pretty good with
complaining
their
to everybody.
their crew.
They need to fix that crew. But I like the pregame stage.
You're supposed to listen to it on the radio and sync it to your TV.
Mhm.
Syncmytv.com.
That's a thing.
It is. It's a Learfield product that it really just tells you how to do it. It
Mhm.
doesn't really.
Well, thank you so much for coming in here. I'm going to eat
welcome.
this. I am like starving, so I'm having this Aunt Sally's Creole pralines right away.
Alyssa's hovering for her presents.
I know. And then look at this. This is. Should I never open this? Because you say this.
I
Comes
already
with
ate them.
sweets.
They're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
No, you're just gonna
Chris
have them
Prudhomme,
sit.
Thank you, my man. Gift man. The man, the myth, the legend. Here.
And
Welcome
he got-
back.
He got his present from the secret warehouse.
I did. I got my
arrived
T-shirt.
before the game.
I had to
Mhm.
drive to his house and
Yeah.
I picked it up. It was quite. The dogs were so mad. They were barking at the window. They were
Well,
trying to
you-
jump through.
you
the
invaded
glass.
their
Creepy
home.
Poking in the. Oh, yeah.
I
Just-
was. Did you see me on the Ring camera?
No,
Yeah.
but I got told about it.
Yeah, it was funny.
Okay,
All right.
goodbye.
We have Brian Edwards coming up. We'll be talking about the Super Bowl with him. Shout out Chris Prudhomme. Don't go anywhere. Gary Matt on 1620 The Zone. Dollar, dollar. It's not Shane McMahon walking through the doors. It's our friend, our confidant, our expert handicapper from VegasInsider.com, Mr. Brian Edwards. BE, how you doing, my man?
Doing great. Good morning. How are y'all?
I'm doing great. No Gary today. He's on the road with the UNO Mavericks announcing basketball. So just you and me in the saddle today. How'd you do in the Super Bowl?
I did great.
Good.
Had the over. It was a bit of a sweat, but it finally got there. And, had Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown.
Me too.
Touchdown specific to the first half, plus 200. And I had an alternate total over 55.5, which was plus 210, I think.
Nice.
And,
Nice hit.
yeah, it went well. My propecta I did not hit.
Okay.
But, it went really well.
You had a Kelsey touchdown in there, right? A Kelsey touchdown?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
okay. What'd you have in that?
What's that? I didn't do any Kelsey prop.
Oh, okay. I got you. All good. All good.
I wish I'd done the unders.
Sure. I mean, that was a tough game. I wish I would have done the over on missed blocks too, Brian. I mean, it was a rough outing. Rough outing for number
Mahomes
87.
did not have much help from his O-line, that's for sure.
That's for sure. Were you like me when Jahan Dotson was marked down at the 1? Were you cheering for the tush push?
I sure was. It's wild. I know a guy. In fact, he's a host on VSiN. Mitch Moss had Dotson 80-1 to score the first touchdown.
Oh my!
I didn't know that
Lord.
until after the fact, but I knew when it got when they replayed it. I was like, somebody had him at long shot.
Oh my God!
For the first tutty.
You knew. Everybody knew. Everyone had that heartbreak for that one guy somewhere. Funny enough, you knew that one guy. That's crazy. Hey, so this is different now. We're out of football. No more football bets. We're fully into basketball, fully into the NBA, fully into college basketball. It's a good weekend for both. What's your outlook coming into these basketball bets for you, Brian?
Well, just in general, I have 4 future tickets. I have Alabama at 20-1 to win it all. I have Tennessee 17-1, which is probably garbage. I bet it when they were undefeated late December. I have the Gators at 35-1.
That's a
which I
great
love
one.
that price. Yeah, because they're at like 10 to 11-1 now. And I have Missouri 80-1, which they were 100-1 at last look. I mean, I still feel good, about them being a Sweet 16 team and having some hedge opportunities and being able to profit off it. But that's my future portfolio, if you will.
Okay.
I've got 4 future tickets.
Good man. How about the NBA? You got any games for us? Any money line? Any spreads? Any over-unders? What you looking at there?
Yeah, so Jazz Clippers, it was over 225 at last look. So the overs cashed in 3 straight for the Clippers that have had combined scores of 242, 240, and 231.
Ooh.
The over is cashed in 5 straight for Utah with combined scores of 250, 245, 240, 262, and 259. These teams played last Saturday. Clippers won 130 to 110 for 240 combined. They played December 16th. Clippers won 144 to 107 for 251 combined.
Wow.
I have no idea why this total's in the 220s. Now, I know Kawhi Leonard's out for injury management.
Shocker.
And it is a back-to-back spot for both. So, there's the potential we could have some other guys out. But regardless, the All-Star break, these guys probably have vacation on their mind rather than defensive stance tonight. I like it over 225.
Okay, love that. And then, hey, the game of the week here, first time ever in the SEC, number 1 versus number 2, and it just happens to be between 2 bitter rivals, Auburn and Alabama. BE, what do you like?
Yeah, 4 o'clock Eastern, ESPN. No line out yet. Ken Palm's projections are usually pretty close to the opening line.
Okay. Ken
Palm has it projected Auburn -2 and winning 88 to 86. I disagree with that. I my line's Alabama -4. I will be all over Alabama if they're -3 or fewer. I certainly hope they're a home underdog. And nothing crazy about the handicap other than I just give Alabama the advantage at home. And I'll also say this, Auburn, you can make a good argument that they've been the best team in the country, most consistent, great depth, etc. But they've only lost once on the road to Duke, but they've had several nail biters that they didn't cover at South Carolina, at Texas, at Georgia. Easily could have lost the Georgia and South Carolina games. And, the handicap is basically just Alabama's at home, and therefore I give them the advantage. I'll also say I think Alabama's A game is better than everybody else's A game. Now, that doesn't, mean they're always going to have their A game, but when they do, I think Alabama's the best team in the country, when they have their A game on.
When Sears and Youngblood are going, I mean, it's really, really hard to stop the Crimson Tide. I love it. Would you do an alt spread for Bama if they were to come in as the underdog, or would you just take the points?
So I don't know if they'll. Well, maybe the DraftKings and FanDuels of the world may have alt spreads.
Okay.
My accounts don't give me alt spreads until maybe the NCAA tournament, or not even maybe until the Sweet 16. But yeah, I mean, if you could do an alt spread of Alabama -3 or 4 at +150 or what have you, I wouldn't be against that. But that would be for a smaller amount.
Sure,
take the best line for the most.
Gotcha, Brian. Thank you so much, as always. Really appreciate you coming and always looking forward. Whoa. What'd you got?
I've got a play on Gary's game.
Yeah.
I got Omaha, South Dakota State over 152.5.
Really? I didn't see it here. Okay.
Yeah.
152.5. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So these Summit League overs are on fire. But look, Omaha and South Dakota State, excuse me, they played earlier in the year. Mavericks won 87-80 for 167 combined. The over's on a 9-3 run for Omaha, and one of the unders had 157 combined. Would have gone over tonight. South Dakota State's had at least 155 in 9 of its 12 games. I like Omaha, South Dakota State over 152.5.
Okay, there you go. Summit League, Brian. I love it. Absolutely great play. Now officially, appreciate you as always. We'll see you next week. Let's make some money, my man.
Thanks, fellas. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too. The always impeccable.
You turned yourself off. That's how you know the Mavs have made it.
When Brian Edwards,
I think that's the first time. No, I can't. I mean, I don't remember because I didn't even know that yesterday was Wednesday. I thought yesterday was Thursday. So, but I think since I've been here, the Mavs have not made this segment. So it's a new day in Omaha.
I'm in a NCAA pool where you pick 3 teams, so Power 5, non-Power 5, and then Group of 5. My Power 5 team is Alabama. My Group of 5 team is Drake. Okay. It's a pool of 7 guys. If your team gets farthest in the NCAA tournament, winner take all, $700 pool.
I like your chances. At least
I
right
love
now.
how bullish Brian is on Bama. I love it. It's music to my ears. This is music to everybody's ears. I hope we were music to your ears for the last couple of hours. We'll be back tomorrow. Be Jimmy and I in the seats as Gary will be with the team in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Don't go anywhere. Crossover's coming up next.
And is it Mount McMaster or Mount
It's
Happer?
Mount McMaster.